Welcome everybody to the Sleestakians show. I'm your host Lorenzo Sleestak.
Hello, hello.
How's the volume there, Tech? Am I
I
too
can hear you pretty
loud
fine.
or?
You're pretty good. I can hear you just fine, D.
Yeah, but am I too loud?
Nah, not for me. Or
Yeah,
at
I don't
least not
know.
yet, anyway.
I don't know if anybody's gotten their notification yet.
Yeah.
So my friend
Oh,
Rex was streaming the other day, and he was. Oh, there we go. Now I see the chat. Hey, Chad, welcome,
hey, Chad.
and welcome, Carla. Great to see you both as
Hey,
always.
Chad. Carla. Yo. And then, so apparently, YouTube
Oh,
has
happy
lost
Friday Eve, Carla. Sorry.
Lou. So apparently, YouTube has lost its head honcho, and they're now in
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
for their new head honcho, who
Yeah,
may or may not be worse than the last one. Given
yeah.
how
So
given
that's
how the track record,
exactly what I was thinking too.
so
Could
given the track
always be
record,
worse. Could
yeah,
always
given
be a
the
worse
track record
person in
of
there.
companies, they go from bad to worse to god dang man, what the hell you were thinking?
Yeah.
uh,
So it should be interesting to see what happens. I think this current person is going to be advising during the transition to the new person. So who knows how that? I don't know that. I already dislike that, but on the other hand, there always needs to be some sort of continuity.
mm-hmm.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
they don't do that.
I mean, things could be just completely chaotic if some brand new person comes in from out. I think this is some guy who's already working for the company in some other position. I don't know. I just heard about this before we went on air.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that usually they'll try to either carry on the company policies, or they try to alter the policies to maximize profits, which in turn just gets worse.
Well, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to make things even more
Restrictive. Yeah.
restrictive.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure just talking about it is putting us
Yeah.
on the blast.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to find out, though. Yeah. Oh, Twitter. We're talking about YouTube.
YouTube.
Did
We're
we
talking about
see? Did
YouTube.
we see Twitter? I don't know.
Oh no, I said
Sorry,
YouTube.
my apologies if we did, but yeah. Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's a good point. There's stuff going on with YouTube, with Twitter, where I don't know.
Yeah, I think
It
people.
seems like it's kind of buggy lately. Some of it might be the new features. Like at the same time, there were a bunch of bugs. There were also a
I
bunch of
mean,
new features for the people who pay for a blue check mark.
the thing
So
is that Twitter was already kind of a hot mess on its own before
yeah,
Elon Musk. So he inherited a hot mess before he got there.
yeah. I think now
So we're
you
just
can probably
being.
type in the Gettysburg Address if you've got a blue check mark. That's
Yeah.
how long the
Mm-hmm.
the tweets are. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind just like a slightly longer tweet because quite often I have to keep editing and re-editing. And
Is
to
it
the
like
point,
what the
go ahead.
because like the current is like 200 250, I think, right? Or that was the last time I checked. That was the last time I checked it. It would be nice if you can just at least go up to 500 words, because then I could put a full page ad for commission work. Which, by the way, I am currently taking new work for line art only stuff. So
Wait. This isn't an infomercial. It's just
yeah, I know.
the ground pill.
I'm just doing a shameless plug-in at the same time. So
Okay.
yeah.
Chet says I know. And so Chad knows that we're not talking about Twitter, but people expected there would be a big change and save when Elon took over.
Yeah, but that's not how that works.
And
It's
welcome
like
LCX.
unfortunately there's a lot of stuff still baked into Twitter. So for him to unravel everything is probably going to take him another couple of years. You know, just because there's enough line in code to make your head hurt. And that's if you're a freaking engineer for that type of stuff. I can't imagine what a regular person would have to go through to understand what the hell is going on with Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't. Well, what are Elon Musk's like skill set? Like, is he like a programmer or what the heck is? I mean, I know he's got I know he's got like
I think he's an engineer.
Tesla, which is, but I don't know if he actually writes the software used in cars.
I don't think he writes the software. I think he does the engineer part. And then so software is not. I don't know, because I know he was a co-founder for PayPal. So that involves code, but I have no idea if he works on the code or he paid someone to make the code. And then but I do know, but I assume with things involving Tesla that you would have to at least have some kind of competency when it comes to engineering and software design and whatnot have you. So you have to know something. You just can't step into that and do your best. You know, that's not how that works.
Hopefully, LCX says I've noticed a slight paradigm shift since Elon took over. That's interesting.
Well, it's just
conservative voices are louder now. Well,
I'm not really sure. Maybe they've gotten more bold, but
it seems like a lot of people are getting banned.
Yeah, because
orientation is on the political compass.
Well, I mean, we don't discuss politics here, but
yeah, but still, I think that I'm just saying that a lot of people, doesn't seem to matter what their beliefs are. It seems like people are still getting banned, like for maybe they say a naughty word or something to someone.
Yeah,
and I thought there would be a little bit less of that.
There is, from what I can see. It's just that I think what it is that the people on the blue side are now suddenly getting the repercussions of what they've been doing to the red side. So red versus blue, quite literally. But it's like they're now.
Sorry. Please like and share if you like what you're watching. I don't know if people are getting their notifications or not.
Yeah, that's what.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking it's just kind of both sides are now getting the equal or somewhat equal beatings when it comes to being banned and what have you. So because I noticed like some people are just getting banned for bad takes on both sides. So or either side. Like I said, quite frankly, I don't care. And like I said, we really shouldn't be talking about politics anyway.
Yeah, I didn't even mean politics. So I'm just saying it seems like people are getting banned for using the wrong, like they're not using the right tone or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, and welcome, Mike.
Yeah. I know. It's like challenging one's anybody's opinion seems to get you in trouble. So like if you have an opinion about which is better, Coke or Pepsi, you know what I mean?
I'm not sure if that would get people,
Well, no, I mean,
but like,
well, not
I'm
the
not
topic.
sure if people are getting banned as much for what they're the topics nowadays, or if it's more like a form of tone policing, like, because I think maybe people thought that they could go and like call someone a name or something, and or use it like a derogatory word or whatever and get away with it. And
I guguess because the thing is that people have been using things like bigot and all those words, and they run them down into the ground to the point where people are not really caring what you call them at this point. You can call them a racist person, and then it's not registering anymore to some people. So
yeah.
I mean,
unfortunately, that's those words should really have those words should be powerful words, used only on when deserved,
I
you
know.
don't want to cheapen and I see that on all sides, I see people using making all sorts of accusations.
Yeah, like I said, it's not a one side thing. It's people trying to take the moral stand for whatever opinion they have, whether it be
and if somebody, and
soda,
again, I
basketball,
don't like to
football.
get too political, but if somebody's some people will if somebody's slightly left of center, it's like
Hey,
they're
Mike.
to the far left. Somebody maybe from the who's maybe slightly right of center might think they're far left. Or I don't know.
I don't know.
I know you don't like talking about politics, so I won't go too much into it. But it's
yeah.
I guess the problem is YouTube makes it so we can't really talk about it anyway. So
yeah, I know.
Really the point, and it seems like that these words,
I don't know. At this point,
okay, I'll just say it. I'll just say it.
I don't know. At this point,
think about there were a couple of guys. There was the Soviet Union, and then there was Germany during World War II, and
mm-hmm.
So if somebody is slightly to the left, they might be equated with the guy from the Soviet Union. Whereas if somebody's slightly to the right, their opponent will call them the Axis powers. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get around saying it on there because
dude.
Words
maybe we just need to get off.
But it's just too
okay.
Words don't have any meaning anymore.
Actually, we can switch a little bit the topic, but at the same time, it's kind of
I'm just saying.
Apparently, the art there for Harry Potter is. Oh yeah, she's
so that's I think that's even I don't.
Okay, I think that's probably even worse. We'll leave that one.
Yeah. It's worse than talking about these World War II phrases.
Oh, I know what we're talking about.
My point is I think that no matter who is in charge of Twitter or YouTube, there's also going to be a problem with the lack of civil discourse. Whether or not the solution is to ban people or not, I'm not sure that's really the solution.
Yeah.
I
figured out what
I'd rather just debunk things. Yeah. If somebody's got a bad idea, I'd rather be able to debunk it. But now it's but nowadays, we have to tiptoe around everything. And so, Hector, hey, good to see you.
No, I think I figured out what we can talk about. So,
I'm trying to read the chat right now. So, yeah, the thing is that StreamYard's not recognizing any sort of emojis lately. Oh, hey, Diamond. Does Diamond have a wrench? Yeah. I'll give Diamond a wrench if Diamond doesn't have one. Let's see. Hey, Sir Jacob, great to see you.
Well, has anybody played the
Hold on, I'm just trying to get caught up with the chat. Good old-fashioned slightly
to the left.
Oh, hey Matt. I put the link in the StreamYard link in the chat. This could be a chaotic stream again, kind of like last week.
The solution is to have moderators who know the rules and then when to enforce them strictly. And that's from Eddie. My question is, people debunk it, who bunks it?
Yeah. Who does? So that'd be a word to look up the etymology. The actual word meaning. But the solution to have moderators who know the rules and when. Oh yeah. But the problem is that these companies even a software company, there's so much in the terms of service. It seems to be written in such a way, and they must hire some really good lawyers because it's written in a way that seems like there's any number of ways that somebody could possibly be breaking the rules, and maybe it would be good to have a few less rules on these, at least with these platforms. I'd say that's true with software as well. There's I can understand like a video game, an online game. You don't want cheating, stuff like that.
Mm.
But you don't necessarily want your word processor to stop working because you use the wrong word, which I don't think it's not gotten to that point. I don't think, but
Yeah.
it just seems like we don't really like own anything these days now that everything is digital.
Yeah,
Um,
if I remember correctly,
but
Netflix is taking stuff off. I think they're taking off the modern life or something like that. I think it was called. And people are like, then what was the point of putting it on there in the first place if you're just going to take it off and then you have us pay for
what's
it?
this called? Modern Life?
The Modern Life, I think.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't
I watch a
either.
lot of YouTube.
I know there's people that like it, but I've never seen it. And people be like, "Ah, blasphemy!" Okay.
Yeah, I don't. What is it about?
I guess family doing random stuff. I don't know.
I guess maybe it's like trying to explain Seinfeld or something. Because when
Yeah.
Seinfeld came out, and even now, some people think it really is a show about nothing, where it
Yeah.
was actually about like a lot of the stuff was based on things, kind of loosely based on things that had happened in real life.
Well,
And
it
some
was
of it was
more.
maybe a what if scenario, or like
It,
what if you accidentally spill like what was it, a jelly bean or something like that when somebody's performing surgery.
I think the idea is that the show is more is based on a lot of the jokes he made in his skits. In all of the shows where he's making a joke about a particular topic or situation, and so they take that particular part of his act, and they write a script to go with the characters to form that particular that particular episode. So they're taking that piece of a joke and they're turning it into a 30-minute episode, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's what the modern life is. It's basically taking a bunch of random coincidences and putting them together into a coherent story
Well, I guess
for
I'd have to
every.
see it to see if it's. Yeah, well, did they remove it already?
I
Or
don't
is it
know
still on there?
because I know it had because I know it had the guy who played Al Bundy from Married with Children.
Oh wow!
He was playing the grandfather.
Yeah, I have to check that out. And I don't know if I said hi to Mr. Matt, but
And
check out
so
Mr. Matt, Matthew Rogers. I'm not doxing him.
mhm.
That's
and
he,
Sophia,
anyway. Check out his music on his channel.
yeah,
And Sir Jacob says you've never seen Rocco's Modern Life. Oh, I've seen it, and I even saw the more recent movie. That's the whole discussion for another time, I think. But I don't know. I enjoyed the movie, but um, Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy, and
yeah,
Modern
Ed
Life
O'Neill. I'm sorry,
family.
I just
Okay,
couldn't remember his full name. Ed O'Neill, yeah. And then because Sophia Vergara, I can say her last name.
oh yeah, when
Yeah.
George double dips, yeah, it's the chip. So this is something I heard of that I didn't realize, but I know
Double
this is
dipping.
something in I think a lot of cultures.
Hey, Mighty.
I heard like in Japan that people that sometimes there'll often be like a dish at the restaurant, and then people will just like grab what they want out of the like a common dish for the people sitting at the table. I can't confirm this on my own, but there were some English speaking VTubers, virtual streamers who went to Japan, and I think it was Gargura, the shark girl, who mentioned it. But I could be wrong.
Oh no, double dipping. It seems to be.
Well, yeah, actually double dipping in one ship.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not for that.
Well, it's because some people consider double dipping more of a hygiene things. Like, God, come on, man, that's gross.
I think with if there's alcohol involved, like I think and I don't want to get real heavy into that to talking about that either, but it can like I think it can kill it kills germs. I know, but like the hand sanitizers, we got some hand sanitizers that's made by a whiskey company. Maybe a few whiskey distilleries in my town.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Not
sure.
sure how we have so many here in northern Michigan, because I associate whiskey with like
I figured you guys would have been
with
more
the
like a.
Appalachian Mountain, the Appalachia,
I figured you guys
or
would have been more like a
Scotland
bourbon
or
or something.
Ireland.
I figured your area would have been more like a bourbon or something.
Yeah, like Kentucky bourbon. Yeah, and I think we have bourbon here. Is it bourbon if it doesn't come from like the mountains? And is the stuff that's legal? Is it really moonshine? If there's like also stuff called moonshine that you can buy nowadays,
I
which
tried
is different.
I think I tried everything but moonshine. So I don't know what. So you offered me moonshine, I wouldn't know what it is. I just know it's clear.
Yeah, I drank some legal moonshine that I got in the store around here, and I'm still not sure what it was. And in Mighty Geek Studios, hey Terry, good to see you. So he says Netflix has a lot of shows that
They get taken down, but when you request a return of the show, it might be edited because they didn't get the rights of certain songs.
That's another problem. Like I remember getting Beavis and Butthead for the PSP, and all the music videos were gone. And that was like the best part of the show, or at least
I don't know.
At least maybe not the best, but it was. I found it equally as entertaining as the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird how things are going. Like at this point, it's like you might as well not own anything because people are just idiots. And then so it's like
when he heats the donut off the top of the.
I'm assuming he's talking about Seinfeld.
Oh, hey, Bone, welcome. And then people are watching. Gosh, I should have said this at the beginning of the show. People who are watching back to I recommend people skip ahead maybe the first 10 minutes or so where we're, like it takes us a little while before we get started. For when people start showing up and when we interact with the chat and we get more panelists and stuff. But it's good to see you, Bone.
Mm-hmm. No, actually, has anybody tried out the new Metroid Prime remaster? Because I've seen a couple of streams of it. People played it.
Oh,
awesome.
Sorry, I'm almost caught up with the chat. But that's a good question. Yeah, maybe somebody in the chat will have played that, because I'm wondering about that too. Apparently, Sir Jacob says that it's
Kentucky whiskey.
Kentucky makes a lot of whiskey. The Kentucky whiskey makes a lot of hand sanitizer. Or well, he said his town too. So you might not live in Kentucky. I mean. But I'm guessing that the more hand sanitizer they produce, the more hours they allow them to work during the night of. Oh yeah, during that thing. I think that word will get somebody. If we were monetized, we'd be demonetized. And people are greeting each other. And yeah, has anyone played Metroid Prime? Oh, this is perfect, dude. And people are wholesome streams.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, because right now we seem to actually be getting some good remakes and remasters. So we got a good remaster of Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime 1, and we got a good remake of Dead Space.
Yeah, well, that's actually pretty good. If we've got two good like remaster or
One
remake,
remaster, one
at the same
remaster,
time, because
one remaster,
usually I'm
one
pretty
remake. Yeah,
disappointed with them.
yeah.
And Chet says that his friend has played, said it's very good. That's awesome. And I'd like to welcome Kurumi and Shadowhawk Talks to the chat. Hector says, yeah, it's awesome. An awesome remaster of Prime 1. I should I'm gonna have to go through, and it'd be nice to go through the settings and see how I can transfer control over for you to highlight the messages, because I'm quite severely dyslexic. I don't know if you have dyslexia, but mine seems to be pretty bad.
Yeah. And then so it's great to see that we got one good remastered and one good remake. The remake actually because for those who played the game, there's a certain part in the game where a character that you've been looking that's in the game, you don't understand how that character, because most people who played Dead Space 1, I don't know if you played Dead Space 1, Lorenzo, before I open one off.
I'm just rating Terry's hand sanitizer as a byproduct of distilled liquor.
Yep.
So this is kind of so. Yeah, there's no. The short answer is no. The longer answer is there were some console generations quite a few where I didn't own a console, or I had a PSP, but I couldn't find it for the longest time.
Well, okay, so I'll put it this way. So basically, what they did is that there's a point in the game and later in the game that in some parts weren't really making sense as to according to how things were going. And so what they did is that when they got to those parts, they figured a clever way to
resolve the situation.
To resolve that situation. To resolve that, how does that make sense? And so they found a clever way to resolve that situation.
And they did that without pissing off the existing.
Yeah, they did. Fans? They did it without pissing off the fans, and
wow,
people were like,
"That's almost
that
a
makes
miracle."
Sense. Yeah, that's what I call a good planning.
Yeah, that's really
that's
like when there's there's an actual director's cut or remaster that is generally agreed that is superior to the original, which that seems to be I think Superman 2 that supposedly got a good, but people are people get. Gosh, I'm not even going to mention the Snyder Cut because people get so passionate about that.
Well, no.
I'll go with Superman.
There's another good remake.
I'd like to see that. Was it the
another
Donner
good
Cut?
Another good remake was actually Resident Evil 1 for the GameCube. It got remastered again for future PlayStation and what have you. But when they remade Resident Evil 1 for the GameCube, that is essentially the first ever remake that I can remember that was better than the original, because it did so much more. It gave a more creepier atmosphere than the original. It gave a more complete game than the original. And
so what about when Mario Brothers was like Super Mario Brothers, when those games were ported to weren't they ported to the Super Nintendo? I only have an NES, not an SNES.
No. I think usually what they do is they don't try to go backwards. They try to go forward. At least it was Nintendo. So the only I think that it's only more recently that they started doing the remaster thing, like they did with Prime. So Samus Return was because they did a rematch. I think it's either a remaster or a remake of Samus Metroid 2. Return to Samus.
Do you remember though how Nintendo used to have, and I don't know if they developed them themselves, but Nintendo used to have ports of their games on multiple consoles, and and then in the arcade, and then each version of it would play a little bit differently. Like there's like no, that was before the NES though.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
the
know
thing.
how
Well,
much
the
they
thing
were
is
doing
that.
that afterwards.
Well, the thing is,
Uh,
Nintendo. Nintendo only had two ways they sold the game. They sold it on the NES and they sold it as an arcade.
what
Because
is this? What you're talking about?
Nintendo, when it comes
No,
to like say
no.
Super
What game?
Mario, like say Super Mario. Super Mario started out as both an arcade and on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES for everybody else. And
What did they port to
the
the
the the
SNES? Because I didn't have that. I had
the Super it's no, it went from NES to the Super to the Super NES, which is the Super Nintendo Entertainment
yeah,
System.
yeah, but I think I had something. I think the first console that I actually owned that was a Nintendo was actually the Game Boy, the original P
Yeah,
green screen non-backlit Game Boy.
yeah, the non backlit one. Yeah, no, the yeah, basically, they had Nintendo games always stayed on Nintendo hardware, but they started expanding out to things like the
after
Game
the
Boy,
Famicom,
yeah, the
NES, that
Famicom.
seemed to be the case. But before then, you could play Atari or ColecoVision. And I
No, I
think
think no.
ColecoVision had a Donkey Kong.
I don't know about Atari, but I know they had tried it with ColecoVision, and then they stopped doing stuff with ColecoVision and Intellivision when it because they had licensed out the Nintendo stuff and then not Nintendo, I'm sorry, the Zelda Legend of Zelda stuff, and those were the most absolute terrible dog shit games you ever encounter in your entire life. And that's when Nintendo noped out of letting other people put in their shit on their console. Uh, so since then, Nintendo has kept Nintendo on Nintendo.
So this is something that some of the people in the chat should be able to answer. Here I'm looking at Wikipedia, and there's like a bunch of retro gamers in here. Well, maybe not everybody's retro gamer,
I
but
know. I mean,
quite a few of the people are. So I do know that like Donkey Kong was on a bunch of different platforms because I've
well,
seen watched videos with like all these different versions.
well,
The
because I think.
problem. Oh, go
Well,
ahead.
because I think it's in the beginning, Donkey Kong. It wasn't really called Donkey Kong when it first started out. It was called something else, and then so the character Donkey Kong eventually made it into his own like his own title because it started off as a Mario Donkey Kong thing, and it went by another name or whatnot.
Yeah, so I've seen so many documentaries on. So here's kind of a funny thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I think LCX said before that like I think LCX didn't think I was like a retro gamer. It's like oh no, it's kind of the opposite. It's like I ha- I love these old games, and I actually know more about like some of the old school games than the newer
Mm-hmm.
ones. But it's not the games that a lot of people talk about when they think retro gaming. Like I like we had Apple IIs in school. Like even when I was in even like I think there were ones in high school. I think
Mm-hmm.
like they had like the Apple II GS by then,
Yeah,
um
right.
but the thing is, so like we had very little like IBM compatible or the IBM clones. I think they were also called. We didn't have hardly any of those because what happened was Apple had a deal going with schools that they could get a discount, and even like teachers and students for a while could get a discount.
Hey, how are Mark?
Buying Apple products. So we would have like Apple IIs and later on Macs. But the
Yeah,
Apple II is like the old school was that they had the Apple IIc and the Apple IIe. Those
yeah,
stuck around
yeah. It's
longer
because
than they probably
the PlayStation
I
because
would say should have. I mean, but people, they're still, and I still love those little computers, even after they were considered outdated by the average person, they were still being used in some of my classrooms. So
yeah, I mean, because like the PlayStation didn't come around till 1992, I think.
Oh, hey, Horror Mike.
And then Xbox didn't come out until 1996, 97, somewhere. No, I'm sorry, 2001.
Oh, hey, Jimmy, good to see you.
So PlayStation started dominating in the 90s, in the half life of the 90s, and then Xbox came around, I think in 2000. Shit, I gotta look up.
Wait, we got a Seinfeld comment. Wait, did people have people left the chat now, or because it was so slow reading, or what? Because let's see, it's showing up as 8:36. Wow, it's 8:40 now, and I'm just getting to the Seinfeld. Oh, well, we talked about Seinfeld actually. Probably a lot.
I think they're just going by what people said.
And welcome, Mike.
Hey guys, I figured I'd pop in for a couple of minutes before my show.
Yeah, not to be confused with Horror Mike. This is Mike Walters.
I apologize. PlayStation 1 came out in 1995.
So does anyone know, Mike Walters? Do you know if Super Mario Brothers, like 1 through 3, if that was, do you know much about those games? Did they come out on the Super Nintendo?
I don't know as much about the video games because I'm not as much into the video game side of things. I do know, I believe it was back in the late 80s, early 90s, they had some cartoons out. I know, in fact, I think Super Mario World was an actual Saturday morning cartoon at one point. It was a mix of animation and live action. I do know that in the live action segments, it was actually Captain Lou Albano of WWF fame at the time, who actually was the one portraying Mario.
They put out a commercial for it. They put out a Super Bowl commercial for it, and it's using the original theme from the Super Mario Brothers TV show.
Mm-hmm. I was like, by the way, my childhood. This is, I think Chad's right that I think they were trying to make a Popeye game, and then somehow they ended up making Donkey Kong. There's entire documentaries about the topic.
Well, it's just at the time a lot of characters weren't being copyrighted because video games in general were a new thing. It's the same thing with comics. Comics when they first started out, not everything was copyrighted and what have you, because everything was a new thing. So eventually Popeye had his own game, and Donkey Kong had his own Donkey Kong game. So because the NES came out in 85. Yeah, it was 85.
In the US,
81. I'm older than Nintendo.
I think the Famicom had already come out like a couple years, 2 or 3 years earlier, and got a big head start in Japan. So I think what happened,
Nintendo's a Japanese company, of course.
Yeah. But they redesigned. Remember, there was a big video game there. So I don't know if you guys know this. I'm saying remember, but I'm not sure if everybody knows this. But there was this big video game crash in the US with Atari, and Nintendo, because there were just so many different games.
Okay, history of the
put out, and there wasn't always very good quality control, and like a bunch of especially with the 2600, or it used to be called the VCS. There were so many there actually is a landfill. This used to be considered like a myth or an urban legend. No, there actually is a landfill full of like ET games and like.
They really dug that thing up a long time ago, though.
Yeah, because it was actually dug up. Because before that, it was just people didn't know for certain if it was actually like real or just a story someone made up.
Okay,
but they actually dug that up.
The Famicom, which is originally dubbed Family Computer Network System. The Famicom was actually in '88. At least that's what it says here.
So the thing is that the Famicom got a head start, and then the NES. What Nintendo did is they redesigned it to look like a VCR, or well, it didn't really, but it kind of made it kind of like a top load. Was it kind of like a? Would it be a top loading VCR, or it was like one of those VC? I don't know. But they went and they redesigned it, and
yeah, that's what I'm trying to find.
Even though it took a while to come here to America, Nintendo was managed to go, and I think because they're the ones who they really kind of helped save the face of the video game industry, so to speak. They marketed it as a toy instead of like an entertainment system, whatever the hell that means. So they were trying to get around this whole like video game system thing, even though that's what they were selling. And they even like had a little robot there you could get that went with it. That I still don't know what the hell that thing does.
Okay.
But
yeah, I think I found
my point is I just want to make a quick point. I know I'm taking forever, but so the problem. So this is why the Sega Master System didn't sell well in the U.S. or in Japan, as Nintendo had already got a foothold in. Like, so in the U.S., they had a lot of the games licensed to be exclusives on their system because they were like the company. I think they were like I think they were first, at least, at least they got the licenses first. And, they gobbled them up in the U.S. So overseas, like in Australia and New Zealand, the Sega Master System, which actually had a lot newer components and stuff, the graphics. I don't know. I like the graphics in some of the games better than the Nintendo. I love the NES, but that's because it was actually a newer system.
Right.
But the Nintendo got released around the same time in the US. The NES got released, but it was based on this older Japanese Famicom. I'm sorry.
Okay, so the Famicom system was introduced in July of 1983. The Nintendo Entertainment System, which is the redesigned version of the Famicom, was in 1985. Yeah, I lost it now. Dang it.
So here's
85.
Here's a guy who actually introduced me to the Master, not like physically, but I think I learned about the Master System from Video James NZ from or NZ as we'd say it in the States, from New Zealand. Someone summoned me. I see the words Master System. Awesome. I think I'm behind on the chat. Let's see where.
Super Mario Brothers first appeared on the NES. True and not true, because they did actually. There was an actual game before Super Mario Brothers that basically you play the brothers trying to pop Goombas and other little creatures.
I thought Donkey Kong was the first game with Mario.
Was it?
I thought. Sorry to interrupt.
Hang on. Let me.
Oh, Rick had mentioned that Super Mario 1 through 3 came on the SNES via Super Mario All Stars. Okay.
List of games featuring.
Yeah, first appeared on the NES.
Okay. He first appeared in Donkey Kong in the on arcade. And that was in 1981. He didn't come to the Famicom until 1983. Wow, there were actually a couple other things. They were on the IBM personal computer, the VIC-20, the Commodore 64, the Apple II, Commodore 64. Nintendo Entertainment System was 1986 for the first Mario game. Mario Brothers itself was in 1983 for the Famicom. That's when it first appeared. And then in 1986 is when it appeared in the Nintendo Entertainment System. And then in 2004 for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. Excuse me just one moment, Tech.
Yeah,
guys, I gotta go make some more promotional rounds. I did put my link in the chat, Lorenzo, if you want to.
Yeah, what time's your show?
The mic stand is starting at the top of the hour here, 6. If you guys want to open up a second window and watch as you're watching, Lorenzo,
that's a good idea. So 6 was that's
9 p.m. your time. So 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 Mountain, 8 Central. So
yeah, I feel bad for I often skipped over Mountain, but that's where the Rebellious Pastries from that time zone, so shouldn't skip that. That's I think out in Colorado.
Well, anyways, guys, I've got to head out. So thanks for having me, and I will
take care. And thanks for going on the show.
Sure, I'll talk to you later.
Later, Gator.
And PlayStation 2 has sold most units to date. So I would have guessed. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sir Jacob, that I didn't answer that question.
No,
I was going to say PlayStation 3, but you know what? I think the Xbox might have. Did the Xbox outsell that? I'm trying to remember because I think the PS3 sold for a lot of years. So, wait, would have been the Xbox 360? That was the competition against the PS3. So I'm not sure, but PlayStation 2, and that's actually one of the PlayStations that I've played the PlayStation 2. I just don't know much about that. Mm-hmm. I have a PS1 and a PSP.
I had a PlayStation 2. Don't have it no more. I have a PS4 and an Xbox One and a Switch, and my computer. But my computer needs a nice upgrade badly. And then
hey, Manticore. So what did you say you have as far as consoles?
PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and then my computer.
I think you're pretty well set for
unfortunately,
now they're starting to get more. They're starting to get some more exclusives for. But it seems for the longest, really maybe some really good exclusives. But it seems like for the longest time, the even now, a lot of games you can play on the Xbox. Do you have an Xbox One? Did you say, and a PS4?
Yeah,
original
PS4.
Xbox.
I had a 360, and I sold that. I have an Xbox One, a PS4, and
okay.
But see, the thing is, right now is that now they're starting to make games for the PS5. Now they're really starting to come out the door for PS5. And,
now they're starting to make some
Xbox X series.
But for the longest time, it seemed like
everything was coming on those consoles. Yeah.
Well, I think maybe they were in such short supply too. They were kind of holding
from what I understand, they are making the PS4 and the Xbox One version of a couple of games, and they will be coming down the line for certain games here and there. Like a certain Wizard game will be later down the line. And then
okay. I heard that they're going to actually port Hogwarts to the PSP. I don't know if if that's a next gen game, they might have to kind of tone down some of the. They might have to get rid of some of the fancy graphics in there to port it.
Well, from what I've understood, they were gonna port it to the Switch, and I'm like, you're porting it to the Switch?
Yeah. I mean, did I say PSP?
Yeah, you said PSP.
No, they're pointing to the Switch, but they're going to have
that's
to
what I was
really
like.
seriously
I think that's what he meant.
down. Not the PSP.
Yeah,
I know the
porting it to
Vita.
the Switch.
I know the Vita was out after the PSP. They're not even going to put.
Yeah,
but I'm surprised
because
they ported to the Switch though.
Yeah, because the Dead Space remake is a Xbox X and PS5 exclusive only. You're not going to be able to play that on Xbox One or PS4.
Which game? I'm sorry.
Dead Space remake.
Oh, the Dead Space remake.
Yeah. You can play it on your PC if you have a good computer. Unfortunately, I don't have a good CPU. So I hope
the original remain available. I think I've got it.
The original still available. If you have a Game Pass, you can download it onto either your Xbox or your
I think
PC.
I own it. I think not only do I have a Game Pass, but I think I already own the game. So either way, I can play it on the Xbox One. But check out Mike Walter's channel. He puts a lot of research into his shows. Mike's asked me on a few times, but he's asked me on multiple times. But the problem is that there's a lot of things that he talks about that I just don't think I have any sort of expertise. Like even in this discussion, as I said, I know about like Apple II games, Mac games, and Atari and like 8-bit arcade games. But there were a lot of those games aren't necessarily as popular these days on retro gaming streams. There are a lot of people, they know about the Famicom or the original NES, but they might not know about the Atari 2600, much less what I had, which was the Atari 400. The Atari 8-bit range. I know the 2600 it was 8-bit, but what they refer to as the 8-bit range was like the Atari. Well, there were a bunch of them that were in there.
Yeah. No. Well, like I said, it's just right now. Games. I guess stores are now starting to pick up more PS5s and more Xbox X's, and so you should be able to get more of those consoles more readily available. But I don't have the money for those things, and right now is not the time for them. I need to get an apartment first before anything else. Yeah. But the thing is,
I don't know what Terry's talking about here. Maybe you can restate that. Go ahead.
It was as far as arcade games. I think he's probably talking about the Mario Brothers games. Luigi stomp on the Sleestakian heads like the Koopa Troopas?
I don't know. That's a good question. Humans can be kind of violent, and Manticore saying later to Mike. And hey, Jelly D, welcome.
Hey, Jelly.
It's good to see you.
How many?
Jelly D was in the chat, I believe, last week. Well, we've got a lot of the same people who returning this week, and I appreciate that.
I think there was only 3 Atari consoles that I can remember. Because
trusty sidekick.
Because they went down when the gaming market crashed the first time, and so Atari kind of just fell down when the gaming market crashed because they had put too many games. There were so many games and nobody was really buying them, and companies started falling over and boom, crash. Which now that I think about it, which is probably what happening with movies right now. There's too many Marvel movies, too many Marvel shows, and too many of that is gonna fall.
To tell you the truth, I got into I watched Iron Man. I think I watched Avengers and what else was there? There was the Fantastic Four. Gosh, that I seem to remember that being disappointing or something. I don't know. But there were but it got to the point where then they came out with Agent. It got to the point when they came out with the Agents of Shield and all these TV shows, and they were like these constant movies, and then DC was cranking out constant movies. I got to the point where I just kind of started tuning out, so to speak. Excuse the pun. because they were just because there was an MCU and the DCU, and it just got found it overwhelming. I don't know. There was a point, and I'm not sure exactly the year, but there was a point where I kind of stopped giving a rat's ass about Hollywood movies in general. And I'm not talking about, there's some really good indie movies that I think I had gotten to the point where somebody could just get say a Sony digital video camcorder and go out and now you could probably just get a phone,
the thing
and make your own movie digitally.
Well, pretty much everybody can do that nowadays. You can do that with your phone. You can do that with your phone nowadays. No, you can.
Mr. Matt was showing me all these special effects that he can make with this $30 app, and the special effects looked similar to those on Babylon 5, which were they were using like an Omega with this fancy software and all this stuff,
Well, no.
Probably multiple Omegas,
Well, the thing is, I want what I was pointing out for the movies is that the movie, what's happening with Marvel movies and all the superhero stuff is the same thing that happened to the Western. There were so many Westerns, it flooded the market until people got tired of it. And then when that happened, they moved on to something else.
Yeah, and I felt that
they moved on to the crime movies, the crime.
Well, they were doing that with horror movies. It became so for me, this stuff was always really underground and I wouldn't even when I was in high school. There were a lot of this kind of nerdy stuff. You get your ass kicked if you even talked about some of the stuff. So when I was in junior high and high school, even when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, back
it was I didn't. It was maybe when I was in college when I started talking about when I remember talking to actually being able to talk to friends about Star Trek, even though I've been watching it since I was a little kid, the different, shows. It's it was, I think it was in the 90s I was able to maybe talk to adults, when I was an adult, college age, I was able to it was finally something you could talk about. Same thing with anime. Anime used to be. I mean, there's Speed Racer, but a lot of anime was some friend would have a video cassette that they had to special order from this one shop
back
at the
then,
mall.
Back then it was more social. It was socially, as far as kids are concerned, not adults. It was more socially acceptable to pick on nerds and geeks and what have you, and nobody had a problem with that. So nowadays that's just what happens, And people wondered well, what did they do this and they do that? Well, because you idiots kept picking on them and didn't leave them alone,
What did they end up doing it?
I'm not saying those things because we were
yeah. And so the way that they're the solution, I'm not going to go into any details either here because I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I've heard I've heard there's some sort of zero tolerance bully policing, but I don't think that that's necessarily addressing the problem either. this would be something like maybe something for like somebody like my friend Chris from Hero Shack. Maybe he could talk about that. Maybe on his channel or something. But I don't really want to get into too many
culture.
details.
Well, I guess being a nerd in the geek nerd culture, being a nerd in the geek, it had its ups and downs. I mean, because like playing D&D, I played with more people on D&D than anything else, and that was before the rise of multiplayer games and what have you. So D&D was always a thing. So it's always fun having hanging out with friends and just making up this.
Yeah. So I was an adult when actually, you know what? This was the weird thing. So when I was in high school, and D&D was actually like a Christian youth group trip, and it wasn't anything like adult supervised or anything. It was just like some kids and I played
It's D&D.
D&D. And here I thought it was going to be like just some sort of like, here was this big taboo thing, even though I watched the cartoon, but like my mom didn't want me playing the game or whatever, even though I think I did play a video game based on D&D, at like one of her friends' houses while she was present, but for some reason I wasn't supposed to play the game or whatever. But when I played that, I remember, like, I think, like, one of the football players was playing, and it wasn't even, it was like, that was kind of the weird thing, is it was something I didn't, like, I kind of, when I was in high school, I only played, or maybe it was junior high, I, like, only played it once, and I didn't really know who it was who played the game, because I would have probably continued to play it. Like, I don't know, wait a second. So I don't know if it was somebody else maybe it wasn't somebody I really knew all that well, who, like, maybe it was somebody I had met on this. So it was a trip with the youth group, and when I was a kid, and what it was it could have been like some kid we met on the trip or something had the game.
Yeah, a long time ago. Sorry.
or if it was somebody who I I knew from the youth group, I should have just started playing the game. Just asked if we could play on a regular basis with the guy, but I don't know.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, but I was just probably just so socially inept. It was kind of easy to hang out with people if you're part of a youth group thing. It was when I was in college, I started meeting like some I started meeting hanging out
Making
more
more
with
friends.
people.
Yeah.
Be more social
than antisocial.
Yeah, we had kind of a weird situation where we had such a crowded junior high and high school. We actually had these modular homes that some of the classrooms were in. They built an entire modular home, maybe the size of a cabin or something, and that would be like a classroom. Gaming market crashed in '83, right? Yeah, I think in the U.S. more than say Canada or overseas.
Yeah,
or I don't even know, like Mexico or South America. Like, I think it was just mainly the U.S., but I think it was around '83. That sounds about right. But in '84, the Mac came out, and my family was one of the first here in town to get the Mac. Maybe it was in like in '85 or something we got it, but and I got into Mac gaming. So people really, and then later on, there were some people who did have computers, and I don't think the gaming market crashed for computers at all, but it's just hardly anybody had them.
No, the market it was basically a big crash for Atari, because Atari was just flooding everything they can, anything and everything they can. This is why I was saying this is why I was saying Kurt Marvel is paralleling what happened with like the crash for. Because even the comic book crash, that I think that came in the '80s as well. in the 80s, 90s. No, the 80s. Yeah, that it also came in the 80s. This is when they put too much crap out, and
Yeah, and I didn't really know about any of that. And for the longest time, I couldn't
I
figure
didn't know
out
about that
why
stuff.
it was. So when I was a kid, like I wasn't really into comics. And I couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't that I probably did see them in the store, but I was typically in the magazine section with a computer magazine. Welcome, Orc War Chief.
Hey,
Hey, sorry about the late
That's
start
fine.
here.
no, you did, man.
My neighbor was getting rid of some furniture, so yeah, so I had to clean it, put the end table. It's actually a nice end table. I'm surprised she wanted to get rid of it, but hey, I was like, free end table, yoink, and I took it and went. Yeah, hopefully I don't get a knock. Oh, that was the wrong end table we gave you. I'm like, damn it.
Oh no. So Terry said from Mighty Geek Studios says Atari cornered the U.S. market until the crash. Well, there was a lot of competition, but I don't really. So here's the weird thing: is I don't know if I ever played in television or ColecoVision. Like
big game,
but like did seem like a lot of people I knew had Atari, not the Atari 400 like I had, but like they have like an Atari 2600 or an Atari 52, which I don't know when that came out. Let's see. That came out in 82. So yeah, I think a friend of mine had one of those.
Yeah, like I said, there was a crash.
Terry? Go ahead.
It was a crash, but and mostly it was Atari.
Hello, Mighty Geek Studio.
Yeah.
And from what I remember, it was mostly Atari that suffered from that crash.
No,
Atari did own most of the market, so yeah.
And it wasn't just Atari at the time. We're talking multiple places. We're talking Coleco. We're talking what ended up happening was a combination of the chips shortage and an overall crash on the market until the Nintendo came out in 1985.
And they redesigned the Nintendo. So it didn't even call it a video game system, right?
It was called the Falcaron or something like that.
The Famicom.
Oh yeah,
Famicom. Yeah,
Famicom.
The Famicom. It was called the Famicom in '83, and then when they brought it here to the U.S., they called it the Nintendo after themselves.
Yeah, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and what they did is they redesigned the thing and they made it look kind of like a VCR. I don't think it really looks like a VCR, but that's what they were going for, I think.
They had. It wasn't until they did eventually create a top loader that did come out later. Nintendo. Had four different versions of its original creation, and they also at one point had a wood grained version. Not lying. There's something. Yeah. They actually apparently had one that had a wood grain look to it. So
that's weird.
Big brain thought here, conspiracy theory I've had for years. I've been thinking for a very long time that the video game crash was actually faked. And I think that the video game crash was something that a certain government organization did. And it's been a conspiracy. I know it's a conspiracy theory. I know it's like it's tinfoil hat season. But
we get too into conspiracy theories. Our channel, it's
unfortunately, it's a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory until it's not. That's the problem.
Okay, here's the theory. Here's where that comes in, because we're talking video games at the time. You had mother groups, you had other groups just losing their fucking shit at the time. We're talking things. It did.
Same with D&D, like what we were talking about earlier.
Parent group was losing their minds over anything that came out on television.
That's true. MTV wasn't MTV coming out around that time too. And man, that was kind of videos and stuff were pretty.
Because it's weird. Because a lot of stuff came out in the 80s and 90s. Actually, I saw something the other night on Twitter. Someone had brought up Does anyone remember Small Wonders?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Someone brought it up.
I didn't watch it so I don't remember it from the time, but I've seen clips of it, and I'm surprised that it's like, why didn't I watch this? This seems like something I would have. Maybe my family wasn't into it.
This was a show that had four seasons, 100 episodes, I do believe. So it lasted 4 seasons. And from what when I was reading on Twitter, these people were making more of a big deal out of it than it was supposed they were reading too much into it, because they were trying to make it sound like the father was being creepy. I'm like, no, he's an inventor. The way Vicky was the name of the robot. It's supposed to be modeled to look like a 10-year-old. The idea was that the robot is supposed to be designed to help children who have disabilities.
That was more of a modern. That's more of a modern take on Small Wonders. No one thought that. I was around for the Small Wonders. Mm-hmm. No one thought that at all. That's a modern fucking stupidity right there.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is that the Twitter argument was that it was creepy.
Oh yeah,
But us back then in the past, me as a kid when watching this show was like, oh cool, that would be awesome to have a robot sister.
Yeah.
That stuff.
It actually sounds like a comic book you might make. As you got
that's
you have like robot characters. You got like a whole book, comic book about it.
Yeah, I do actually have a comic book idea. The idea was they do become superheroes. The idea was that all these are robots that were designed to be surrogate sisters, mothers. That was the idea.
You're kind of crossing into the whole power group, a power pack thought process. Power pack, actually.
Oh, so by the way, Jelly D was commenting on what we were talking about earlier with the market oversaturation. Same thing happened with the Guitar Hero games. Too quick.
Yeah,
that happened. That seemed to happen with horror movies too. Remember all those slasher movies, and then it seemed like they didn't make them for a while.
Yeah. Well, they moved to the. Okay. Here's my thought. Okay, this is around the time of the panics and all that type of stuff in the video game market. Mm-hmm. There was money in mother groups that started. Yeah. I think this is what created what we have now. Everyone says the 80s is great. No, the 80s created the mother groups, and they're fucking ultimate evil that deserves to be eradicated from the planet.
Not in Minecraft and not like.
Do you want the abridged list or you want the full list?
No.
You don't mean the people themselves. You're talking about the.
No, I'm talking about the companies, the organizations, because this is how they make fucking money, and that is scary. Like they're making money. They're making money fucking telling other people how to live their life, and they don't give a flying fuck. That should be bad.
A lot of groups are like that. Oh, I see somebody's backstage.
I mean, you can pick a group and want to have you. It's just people seem to.
I'm in. Hello.
Yeah, how long have you been back? I didn't see you were. I've got an 11-inch screen. It turned out I thought it was 14-inch. It's only 11-inch. Well, that's what she said.
But those groups were after everything.
But think about it. They were created by. They were created by a key. They were created by a key organization, a little group known as that Gore and the Clintons. And I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just
people's music research.
All these things were created by these key groups, and you got to ask yourself that question. It's like, wait a minute, hold on here.
and we can like, even though I have a kind of a try not to talk about politics, this was a bipartisan thing. This was typical, and the Reaganites. Go ahead.
This was and this is a little bit of everything, and a lot of these groups transcended, and then they migrated like a fungus, migrated into America, into Canada, and other countries, and they have so much absolute power, and it's to me, I know it's a big brain thing, but that's what this was. Destroy the video game group to make your other groups make a lot of money. And that's what I think they did. I really do think that like what exists now is the worst case scenario created by the crash of the video game groups and the rise of the mother foundations.
I thought the video games were great back in the day. Like,
I know some people are saying, most people are probably thinking to themselves like, "Oh, he's talking out of his ass." Maybe I am, but
even like with Anita Sarkeesian,
there was a reason why there were PSAs in 80s cartoons.
Yeah, I mean
true. They weren't they required by law to have at least a little bit of educational content, so they kind of tack it on at the end.
That's the official way of putting it.
Even though they were like Thundercats into certain communities.
Because like Thundercats, they had a therapist or child therapist to help with the episodes, writing of the episodes. So every episode would had to go through a child therapist of some sort.
Didn't Lou Scheimer do the same thing?
Well, look at another good example of this is look at what happened to Ghostbusters. Mm-hmm. You want to see Ghostbusters?
I need to get to the chat. Would it be okay if we take a break and then go back to Ghostbusters?
I think that's an interesting
topic.
Yeah, go for it. We'll get to the chat. I
totally agree with you with that. I've seen documentaries about that. But Jelly D was apparently a cheerleader, and so could somebody please read this? I think I'm going to be a lizard with glasses.
Look, I did join the anime club in high school because I thought I would get made fun of and a cheerleader liking anime. Back thing would be a super weird.
The thing is that you didn't even.
Well, if you were one of the cool kids back then, like in anything from anime to comic books was considered.
Nerd!
Exactly.
Quite honestly, those people that made fun of us as kids are the ones that are trying to tell us how to moral authority and telling us that this game is bad and that thing is bad and you shouldn't do this to people and you shouldn't have to be. It's like it's the same idiots.
It's the same from high school. It very well could be the same exact people. Or at the very least, it's the same types of people. Yeah, even if it's not the same individuals, it's the same mentality. They weren't the people who built up like any sort of like nerd culture or whatever.
Yes,
but it wasn't always considered nerd culture. Some of the stuff was mainstream.
And these are the same idiots that come crawling to us, asking us to explain concepts like Iron Man, Black Panther, and a few others.
Yeah, so basically, it's the cool kids it's basically the same cool kids from high school.
Yeah.
Now as adults, and they're trying to recapture that lightning in the bottle again as adults to be the cool kids or the cool adults, whatever they want to call themselves at this point. And
it's profitable now.
Because now it's profitable to be that cool kid that you were in high school, and it's like. Dude, you were the asshole that was abusing us, the nerds, me, people like me. You're the ones who made me afraid to go to school as a kid, and it's like this type of thing where you're trying to support people and what have you. Where was that type of help when I was in high school?
Yeah, exactly. These are like
middle school, elementary school.
It's like the
that's like not help.
From the Heathers.
When everybody got to understand that's never been goddamn fucking help. That is That is just more goddamn control, and that's why I hate this shit.
Definitely. It's not about stopping bullying or whatever. They could do
people
far more effective things than what they're doing. But I was going to try to
be cool, it's the cool kids trying to be cool again. I'm like, no, you're fucking idiots. You're the reason I hate it going to school at times, man. Come on, fuck yourself.
You have to understand the cool kids are not mad that the nerds are making more money than they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I wanted to get caught up with the chat. So Youth Group was awesome. We had an N64 night once. They set up a whole bunch of TVs and N64s at the church. Good times. That's awesome. I would love that. I did have some fun. Youth Group stuff with. I was a Lutheran at the time, and we had some really fun. We even watched in living color, I think.
I wish I had that. I wish I had that youth group.
Yeah.
I mean, my youth group demonized everything.
It was a now banned Super Bowl. I think it was. I don't know if that's even on DVD, but it only aired once during the Super Bowl, and oh man, it was Men on Football. That way instead of Men on Film.
A lot of the shows that we watched as kids, both in the 80s and the 90s, would not get made today. We were just talking about Small Wonders. That's not going to get made.
That would never be made today.
At least that was the father as the inventor. It will probably be the mother as the inventor.
Right.
So the roles will be reversed. And but God knows where that will go. Then there's shows like
don't you know that? Women are competent, don't you know that?
Then
by the way, like to say hi to.
That depends. That depends on if said woman can define what a woman is.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that topic right now, but I'd like to welcome Gap Stargate and Elkin Slice to the chat. We're way behind the chat, so apparently Shinobi's first NES came with that garbage robot. Yeah, did it serve any purpose?
Rob the robot.
They never worked.
Rob the robot.
I had to take it back.
Rob the robot. Yeah. Rob the robot had especially certain TVs. Rob the robot would not fucking work. So you would have this big fucking bullshit device that does absolutely fucking nothing.
Oh, that Zapper was trash too.
Yeah.
Yep.
You missed the duck, even though you are aiming at the duck. It's like the gun barrel is at the duck. How does that register as a miss?
We used to.
Oh.
Because me and my
so
brother,
I wasn't the only one that experienced the glitch that was Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. When you can't hit the duck when the gun barrel is directly on the screen, fix your game or fix your zapper.
So I thought maybe I should go for an LED screen, because I guess they make them now for. Or not LED, LCD or whatever the heck technology I have, but it's probably not even worth it just to try to play Duck Hunt.
I swear, beta testing.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't play it using Duck Hunt. You're.
I think they've redesigned.
That's like trying to play Punch Out with your power
for LCD screens,
right?
or I don't know, but then there's like a bunch of different kinds. There's like
how does your Power Glove not work when you're playing a boxing game?
Again, the devices have different shifts on them, and you could, if you didn't program it properly, good luck getting anything to goddamn work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back then, quality control was like the absolute dumb shit.
It didn't exist.
Quality control was non-existent back then.
Yeah.
Well, that would explain the Robotech toys that broke.
Mm-hmm.
I rest my case.
I can easily turn this hover tank into Battloid configuration, and snaps it, and the guy doing the demonstration snaps it in half.
So I have a transformer that broke.
Let me put it to you this way.
My GoBots and my mask toys never broke, but it might have just been that particular transformer toy.
I mean, let me put it to you this way. We used to play. You all, I'm sure most of y'all remember this. We used to play on slides that were made of metal. Then when you go down, good luck not getting burned by the hot metal or getting sliced and diced on your way down.
And Hasbro
or the swing sets that went pretty high and had no way to keep you from flying forward from that.
Yeah, those were the good old days. By the way, Rick's got something interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know. Rick's in Ontario, and maybe Orc could weigh in on this. So Rick's saying that Coleco did all right during the crash.
Yeah, it did. They had it. They made a lot of money with the. This is going to sound really bad, but they made a shit ton of money by using the being government issued.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, seriously,
Adam.
Yeah.
Huh. But government issued. That's interesting.
Well, okay, here's how that worked. Here's how it worked. They actually made money by giving away. Well, they gave away free consoles, but they gave away free stuff. So if you were a kid, even up to almost the N64, if you went into certain groups, like if you went to if you wanted to find if they're like, okay, we want you to look after you're going to be here for about 9 hours dealing with all this stuff. And they'll be like, okay, we'll set you up with, we want you to be in one of the safe rooms. They like those rooms where they keep the kids that are going through stuff. And, so yeah, we're going to put you in the nice safe rooms. You would have a freaking Coleco and would be sitting in there for that entire time. I had a Coleco.
Wow.
For
that actually
years.
Sounds kind of cool.
I had.
I have been trying to come up with this cover idea.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
You're doing what now?
I'm trying to create a cover for my comic thing, and because I think next week I'm gonna pull the trigger and start trying to get this book off the ground, and then so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up the comic that I was made for the Indiegogo a long time ago as an extra. Hi guys, how you doing? How's it going? Gift for everybody that joins. And then,
by the way, it's Daniel from Tech Corner is talking. I get to know his artwork because there's a blank page.
Yeah, no. Well, here let me move it over one page over.
But, so Rick said that it was the Adam that killed ColecoVision. I'm not too familiar with the Adam. I don't really know anything about the Adam.
So right now I just need to finish putting the dialogue on those pages.
That was cool.
Yeah, and so right now I got 20 pages all worked out and they're ready to go. I just need to ink them in and do all the stuff and put the lettering in on them. I was debating this weekend to jot out another 20, but I'm debating if I want to continue the story from the present or do a story in the past that's related to one of the characters that you talked to in that you see during these first 20 pages. And so because I'm wanting to debate show off characters, and I want to tell stories with them and then kind of just go back into the story, so you get backstory plus regular story in 20 pages,
like what the last Ronin did.
Yeah, more or less. That's what I'm trying to do without going overboard. Was too many flashbacks. Yeah. So I was thinking do that one flashback for 20 pages and then go back to regular story and just keep going. And she just Vanessa just keeps learning about.
What's the flashback for? Is the flashback for is the flashback part of the narrative, or is that like kind of a summary for the every?
Okay.
Is that like when you make a new comic book, you have a flashback to what happened?
Okay.
Episode
you're thinking about a recap.
Okay, yeah, that's a recap.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. So this is like a recap start for the book. So the first couple pages are her in World War II. because we're not gonna mention stuff like that right now. So this is World War II. She's fighting her version of the Red Skull, and then she wakes up in the present. So instead of I changed it, so instead of how, because I noticed the origin story was clashing too much with another story I had that was dealing with underwater stuff. So I just kind of moved it that she got flashed forward into the present. So to the present, well, the present for this character. So you see all these pages, you get a nice little fight and what have you, and then and this is where I kind of went more manga on the pages. So, and I just got more creative with what I was doing, and so basically what you do. So what's happening is you're getting a flashback with this character here at the bottom. This one right here. Well, this one right here. And so it would be 20. It would be 20 pages of basically how that character met was the main character. So because the idea is that there's the last 2 pages are giving you the idea that they're still being watched by the bad guys from World War II.
It sounds like you're giving away plot spoilers again.
Okay, so
sometimes you give away a little too much about your book because.
Well, I mean, because if you
trailers have a habit of doing that,
huh?
It's bad enough movies trailers have a habit.
Yeah. Trailer. You watch the movie trailer and it's like they did that with the Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise. They gave away. They actually showed the ending in the trailer.
I apologize. I apologize. I mean, I'm still new to this. Okay.
I said, have you guys talked about the new stuff for D&D, or is it?
No, hang on.
I want to get caught up with the chat and get back to the Ghostbusters thing.
If you guys start
going a really interesting thing.
If you guys start going into D&D, I'm bailing. I'm bailing.
Censorship. Like bringing in advisors and stuff and ruining it, from what I recall. So by the way, Deception of a Generation, what was that? Was that a
okay,
book?
So no. It was a television series that eventually went to VHS tape. There may have been some DVD releases, but what it was you know what the 700 Club is, right?
Oh yeah. That's kind of funny because we had this like building in school that some kids would call the 700 Club. It was, I think it was where the detention was at. But yeah, the 700 Club was Pat Robertson and
yes.
My dad.
This guy. So this television evangelist. He's not really relevant anymore, but it was. But what he did, he put a TV special. He did a special on one of his shows called, I think it was called The Eagle's Nest.
Yep.
And he brought this guy in who claims that he got a vision from God that to go on this witch hunt against Saturday morning cartoons, comic books, tabletop.
Oh my God!
Yeah, basically, I think he was
that
trying to go
interesting.
He was trying to go after everything. It's kind of like that.
Everything and anything.
Yes.
So is that what started all this stuff? Like
I don't know if that started, but he was definitely
it continued it. That's what it did.
It continued it. No
moral panics.
But that's the thing. The moral panics became a price point. Like the moral panics is something that people started like, oh, I could make money. Oh well, support us. Like for years, I was getting a fun little thing. I used to always get would get phone calls on. It would drive me nuts. Is I'd get these stupid phone calls. Oh hi. we want to do friendly kids cartoons that are truly friendly kids cartoons. I'm like, okay, what kids cartoons have you done? Well, none. Yeah, none. They've done fucking none. So they want you to put your money. They want you to put the money in to have none. And it was just like, I used to laugh at that. I used to laugh when I got those, and I used to like make jokes and go, Jesus fuck, really, assholes?
So wait,
and you'd be surprised how many people actually fell for that.
Wait, they wanted you to give them money, but they weren't providing their own alternative.
Exactly.
No, it's all folky baloney.
Yeah, they didn't really provide you with squat. But yeah.
It's this manipulation of people that like it works. It's like I said, the second you say kids are in danger.
Right.
Oh, the kids are in danger. The kids are in.
Satan is after your children.
Yeah.
I think the Karens actually became a big thing, like starting this.
Those guys were the OG Karens.
They've always been a big thing.
Yes, they were.
It's kind of like the goofballs from when they talk about guns and like
those guys were the blueprints for the modern Karen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, the modern day.
What do you know about? Yeah, like what do you know about guns? Oh, you can fire. That's not how guns work.
Holy shit!
If you try to fire a gun,
you're the one who doesn't want to get
a weapon, automatic, 100 rounds out of that. You're more likely you're gonna screw that barrel so hard it's not gonna fire.
Well, Ghostbusters is a great example. Everything like the last thing I got to talk about. I'm going to probably take off. We're not going to.
No worries, man.
I got a bunch of. I still got to talk to my neighbor and get stuff sorted out. But yeah, so this would get not right now. I'm good right now. But Ghostbusters was a good example of this. Their mother group, when those groups got in, they took a series that was fundamentally. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. And
it was okay.
The first season was pretty edgy. I mean, for a children's cartoon, right?
So we're talking. So this was the one based off of the Ghostbusters movie, because you gotta remember there was like a ton. You gotta remember there was that other version that Filmation came out, and then there was a
this was the real Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Okay,
I hate. Okay.
Sorry.
Kibosh on the Filmation Ghostbusters. It's not real Ghostbusters. Fuck off. I hate when people do that. No.
Even though that Ghostbusters came first.
Yeah, no. Fuck off.
It did.
Fuck off.
Version came out first.
I didn't say it was any good.
Man, come on.
It's forbidden. It's fucking forbidden. There, that's what I'm gonna say. It's forbidden.
No, the thing is, Columbia Pictures had to fight film. Columbia Pictures had to fight Filmation to use the name.
It's created by the devil.
The one that we're thinking of is the real Ghostbusters. In case anybody hasn't seen it.
We're just having fun.
Birds came in.
Wait,
is that what happened?
Yeah.
Because the first season was pretty.
Don't go smack talking Lou Scheiber like that.
Oh, Lou Scheiber can suck a cock. Lou Scheiber can suck a cock. What happened?
So, like the first season
was like.
First season was very promising.
Hey kids.
And Bravestar.
Bravestar, Zorro. He also did the Lone Ranger and a Tarzan.
Okay. We don't care.
You do not say such unfair things against.
So you cannot badmouth Lou Scheiber.
She's wait long enough though to tell his story.
Now you can badmouth the guys over at Sumbo because they made Casey Kasem quit the show after their Carbamia shenanigans.
All right.
He doesn't have long to. He doesn't have long for this world.
Let's give Arkwart his
okay, so like I was saying before I was interrupted by the bullshit, they created several. They were basically forced to by a mother group that was forced by basically the company
by a church group.
The company had created this organization that it was fucking great if you think about it. It wasn't, and none of this shit was done by the actual, like, no one wanted this group. They didn't want them there.
Right.
They've said repeatedly they didn't want them there. But here's where it gets hysterical. Okay, we don't want you here. All right, great. Now, here's what we actually want to do with your thing. Okay, then why don't we just do that with the Ghostbusters? No. We want you to do this. Here's what a lot of people don't understand about that whole situation. It was given to them by government. It was the company I believe it was at CBC. It was one of the two, NBC's or CBC. One of those two were forced by government things because they took government funding. They were forced to take these. Yep, they were forced to take these special freaking things, and that's how this all broke down.
Was this starting with like season 2? Because that first season,
season 3 actually was. That's when you had the kids from you start getting those the Ghostbuster kids, and they started changing the voice, changing the characters and stuff.
Was this when they had Slimer? They had Slimer since the beginning, but they had like
this is when it became more Slimer than
Slimer centric than anything else. Yeah.
Well, it was called Slimer and the real Ghostbusters after a while.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, that's when that all happened. This is all a manipulation.
Slimer was like a minor character, but then they kind of made
him the main character out of nowhere, and then it just kind of got boring, and then I stopped watching.
I started hating the show after that. I was like,
but that's when this manipulation happened. That's when all this manipulation happened. It was legitimately government funded. It was government funded bullshit.
That makes sense. I know that they were also like over time too. The government got more and more strict, like to the point where with educational bullshit, to the point where they stopped doing Saturday morning cartoons altogether.
Yeah. Well, look at these foundations that exist and just follow their money, and it always leads to some fucking goddamn senator. It always leads to some goddamn senator to get some real good money when it comes down to it. It's profiting off of entertainment, and it's a very good manipulation. Maybe I'm full of shit. This is tinfoil hat. This is my conspiracy theory, but this explains everything. This explains why Disney does what they do. It explains why all these organizations are bringing people. Oh, we got to bring this group in. We got to bring that group in. Oh, these people are, money. Let's make this extra money. It all makes sense. It all makes sense to everything that's happening now. Because when you hear people say Ant-Man got like the lowest, like Ant-Man should have been another movie that would have still made billions of dollars. And it sounds like it didn't even make the money it was supposed to make, and then some. You got to ask yourself that question. Why is it that these groups why is this not making the money it's supposed to make?
Oh, by the way, hello.
The Quantumania? You're talking about Quantumania?
Yeah, the new Ant-Man. Apparently,
that's what I thought.
Better than me at anybody is probably better than me at pronouncing things, but Jedi Gaming, hope I said that right. Good to see you.
So it sounds like it's a dead on arrival then?
That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it's the lowest. It's so far it's up there with like some of the other ones that was getting that low hit.
What is this you're talking about?
Eternals?
The brand new Ant-Man. Yeah, the brand new Ant-Man. Yeah, it apparently took a hit. It's apparently really low rating right now, and then that's like
it took a hit like the Eternals and Shang-Chi.
Well, this should have been gangbusters. From what I'm hearing, it's really good, and it's like I'm hearing it's good. I'm hearing it's bad. I'm hearing all this stuff. I'm like, okay, if it sucks, what the fuck? If it's good, what the fuck? It's like I'm hearing conflicted stuff, so I'm not gonna watch it. Clearly, I have no interest in anything. My other big hat series,
I like what I saw in the trailer. I'm still seeing it.
This is what happens when you take the main character and turn him into a side character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because who knows how that movie is going to go? Because I mean, the thing is that
it's like what they did with Wakanda Forever.
Yeah,
they turned it
into
a memorial for Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, he can't. And Eternal and that Wakanda forever. Like, let's be honest. Who wants to see Wakanda forever after seeing Woman King?
I didn't see
No one.
No.
No one.
Like that's all I thought when I because I ended up watching Woman King. So I think, hey, I'll review this. I'm like, yeah. I'm not. None of the Horde is going to watch Woman King but me. I know, but nobody in the fucking Horde is ever gonna like. If I say to the Horde, "Hey Horde, what do you want to watch?" The Horde's gonna go, "Not that."
Was it Woman King? Was that about like a tribe that sold people into slavery or something?
Yeah.
Basically, they were trying to rewrite history.
They were selling like other black people into slavery. Was that the deal?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
And they were trying to rewrite that history.
And trying to glorify this.
They're trying to absolve them for actually selling slaves.
Oh, it's even better than that. The women warriors, from what I've heard, they were most of them were kidnapped women. They were tortured, beaten, and done like more and more awful stuff. Just was done to them over and over and over again. And when they finally did fight the Danish, because apparently they did have a fight with the Danish, it ended up going so miserably. They
went sideways, and the Danish walked all over them.
Yeah, it took them like two hours from what I heard, or something silly like that. It was something absurd.
Yeah, basically they got wiped out, and I think the Danish suffered maybe two casualties.
The Danes were Vikings. You have to understand this.
Oh, so okay. So this
they're Scandinavians.
So this is back when the Danes invaded England, right? Or
no,
right? Like
the Danish were
the English fought back.
Yeah, basically it was a Danish company that was sent under the orders of the British.
No, it was the Danish. It was the Danish that sent themselves. Basically, slavery, due to certain Catholic values that had become
part of Danish culture.
Was it around 856 when? Are you talking about like around the time when the Vikings invaded?
No. Why did you bring up the Vikings? God damn it, he's going to be stuck on the Vikings now.
No, I'm asking.
Well, when you talk, most people don't know that the Danes were the Vikings.
Yeah. Okay, so the Vikings have nothing to do with this, Lorenzo.
I'm trying to ask what period of Danish history.
This was during the period when Africa was pretty much being conquered by the world.
Okay, so this is much later, like
we're talking the
Atlantic slave trade.
Yeah. We're talking this is just after, I think this might be just after, if someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is just after the Muslim conquer. Like, this is when the Muslims got basically handily kicked out of Africa. If I remember correctly, my memory might be a little off, but
so many things happen in Africa. It's kind of hard to figure out what happened first. But the thing is that the Danish suffered 2 casualties. I think.
If
I didn't know that Denmark.
I think they suffered 2 casualties, and these female warriors just got wiped out off the map, and I
just didn't realize that didn't realize that Denmark was one of the colonial powers in Africa. That's interesting. I mean, I knew even the Belgians were though, Congo.
They had a lot. This is I believe this is after the Muslims were kicked out of Poland as well. The Arab nation got clear cut.
There were Muslims in Poland? I know. Well, Spain.
Yes, they conquered Greece for a number. They had Greece longer than any other country on the planet. For under Muslim occupied control.
Well,
they owned Greece.
I mean, Constantinople is not part of like a majority, like
no. We're talking about we're talking about the heavy when the Ottoman Empire had, I think, it was Ottoman, or they had took full control of the Middle East.
Yeah. I mean, like Constantinople used to be the Greek-speaking East Roman Empire. You know.
Yeah, but
it was taken over by the Ottomans.
Yes, and when the Ottomans gained control, they had full control, and it was a Muslim run. Greece was Muslim run up to, I can't remember historically when it was. Like that was a long time ago.
You're talking about even the islands, like the Greek.
Yes,
islands?
everything was conquered.
Not just not just like modern day Turkey. Wow.
Okay. We're talking that they conquered them. This is before.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean,
is this before or after World War II? Was this before World War II or after the World? I think this was before World War I. I think they had finally gotten themselves kicked out, like occupying but they had been there for like almost 100 to 200 years. I think, if I remember, I could be wrong.
This had to be before World War I.
Was this before World War I? I can't remember exactly. Like unfortunately.
So you're talking about the Ottomans, right?
Yeah, this was before World War I.
Okay, so I know they're called collectively. We call them the Moors, but I think it was Moors and Arabs and different groups.
Yeah,
they ruled Spain for like 700 years.
Yeah, they owned a large.
They owned Spain.
Yeah.
They did. They owned a large portion of the world.
Like a big like center of like literature and stuff for Spain, like Spanish literature, but it was like in Arabic and based out of Morocco.
Yeah, I can't give you a lot,
which is an interesting mix of cultures. It was kind of like how Latin was a big thing under let's not get started on the Chinese slaves that got fucking brought in through certain key areas to run the silk stuff. Oh yeah, no, like this is why I say the railroads later on in the West there were Chinese people building the railroads.
Yeah, I think that's why people really need to start reading their history before they just make stupid assumptions about who did what evil.
Oh yeah, I laugh at it. I laugh at this shit. This shit makes me laugh every time. But anyway, guys, it is getting late. My neighbor was knocking. I could hear him knocking, but I couldn't do it. I was chatting to you guys. Have a good one. You can find me at Orc War Chief Reviews.
Feel free to type in the chat.
Yeah, I got to go, so I can't really. I'm like everything's got to go.
A long time ago about getting rest in the hospital.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. You guys have yourself a very good night. See ya.
Take care.
Bye. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeff Potts.
Oh, hey, Jeff Potts. Good to see you.
And Mighty's having a chat outside of us.
So let's see. I was going to get back to the chat. So we missed everything that Elkins says. Let's see. I was going to get back to something about the new Switch case. Is that for the Nintendo Switch?
I like your new Switch case.
Yeah. Do you know anything about that?
No, I have no idea.
That sounds interesting.
I know they came out. I know they came out with the OLED switches, which is slightly bigger, was I guess more fidelity on the screen. That's my best assumption for that.
Basically, so I think it was a comment at Gilly D, and thanks, Elkin. You also a Sailor Moon fan, and it turns out that Elkin Slice never really watched it. So some of these things, this whole thing with localization, like somebody made a comment about localization that pissed me off so bad that I'm going to start watching Hulu because it's got the better translation of Sailor Moon. And I think I'm going to start watching that because I've heard.
There's one thing you should know about the translated version of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
They cut out a lot of things during the translation.
Again?
Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
I thought this was the one where they actually have.
Right?
It's like where the
Sailor
cousins,
Uranus and Sailor Neptune.
We're not gonna go into how they turned a harmless lesbian relationship into an incestuous one.
Yeah. I've heard that Hulu version fixes that.
Yeah, just when you thought when they fixed it so one of the characters was female, even though it was two dudes in a relationship.
Oh, they did that as well. Holy shit! That's a problem I have with localization. Is it's always about not always. Like I can totally understand with Bleach why they might. Okay, instead of we're not going to call the Shinigami, which
back then Christian conservatives did not want anything homosexual in a cartoon because it said cartoons was meant for children.
But
that's why you didn't see a gay couple in She-Ra.
But I can understand people, Americans might not understand what a Shinigami are. And he calling them death gods, we're going to call them soul reapers instead. I can understand that with Bleach. I'd prefer them to just leave it untranslated, called Shinigami. Maybe
this is why most fans watch watch it in the original language.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer the fan, the fan subs. But the thing is, though, I can understand. Soul Reaper. That kind of, I can understand that translation, that sort of localization. We're not going to call them death gods or Shinigami.
Yeah, I know.
Soul Reapers. I can understand, but when they go and they attack the source material, they're ashamed of the source material, so they change it so the people are no longer lesbian couple. They're just cousins
which makes it even worse.
Not gay men. Yeah. That's when when it changes the whole major plot points of the show. That's where I think it's a major. That's even worse than the whole jelly donuts and instead of rice balls or whatever.
Yeah. At least when they did that in Robotech, it was the exact. It was. At least with Robotech, when they had Kyle and Minmay being in a relationship despite them being cousins,
right?
That was accurate to the Macross narrative because Kai Fu and Minmay were dating despite being cousins. Even though later in the series, Kai Fu turned into an Ike Turner offspring.
True.
Whoa,
true.
That's trippy. I gotta watch. Do they have Macross available? The whole series.
You're better off watching on. You're better off finding it on YouTube.
If you can.
Yeah, I think they're just. I think they're in the middle of cleanup due to Harvey Gold shenanigans.
Better yet, you're probably just better off importing or buying import from a good import dealer and pray to God the subtitles.
Right.
Yeah. Wouldn't they have to have a region-free Blu-ray player or something? Yeah. Do they even make those?
Like I said, like I was saying, with all the Christian groups in the 80s and the early 90s, it was
silly.
Cartoons were just ruined.
A lot of cartoons were ruined.
Especially if they came from other countries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like Nickelodeon, with the more American stuff. Seems like Nickelodeon really took off around the time that the Saturday morning cartoon. I mean, Nickelodeon been around for ages, but it seemed like they started making really, really good cartoons.
Because
the 90s or maybe around that time.
Why Superman never punched anyone in the face in Super Friends.
Yeah,
it seems like
that was a Hanna-Barbera thing.
Cable Nickelodeon could get away with they didn't have to ham fist this.
Yeah, but they were also at the mercy of the industry back in the 70s.
Or when He-Man barely used a sword the way he's actually supposed to use a sword.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what I'm saying about Nickelodeon is I think maybe because they were on cable, maybe they didn't have to deal with the shit that was.
They had to deal with it, but the thing is, Thing is, Nickelodeon didn't do a lot of imports.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was it
The only
Cartoon Network?
thing they really imported was that Grim Tales theater thing.
Mhm.
That's about it, and it didn't last long.
I don't remember that.
I remember some of it, but
Like I said, it didn't last long. That's why no one really remembers it.
exactly.
Mhm.
What was it called?
It was like called Grim Tales Theater or something.
Oh,
So
Grim Tales.
it lasted
Grim
about
Tales was
maybe 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Yeah, that was always the thing with TV shows and cartoons in general. It's like I was saying earlier about the other 80s TV shows, like because I know let's see, there was Out of This World as a girl that she puts her fingers together and freezes time.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't probably the sort of thing that my mom would have enjoyed. Maybe
the idea
if this was like a sitcom or something.
Yeah, it was like a sitcom. The idea was her father was an alien in outer space. He had to go back into space and I guess he was like kind of fighting some kind of space fight or something like that. His and her mother was an Earthling that was here on. So most people didn't understand that she kind of raised the daughter as a single mother, but she can and the daughter would only get contact with the father through kind of like this communication device that only she could hear him for the longest time until like a certain episode where she turned 16 and she made a wish to allow the mom to hear the father through the machine and stuff like that. It's wow. I know I think it was an 80s or 90s show. Because I know it had the guy from who played Bull from Night Court.
Night Court, yeah.
Yeah, that dude.
Oh, Bull was he like was?
Yeah, he played a bad guy on out of this.
But on Night Court, was he the bailiff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Bull Shannon, I think that was the name of the character.
He was an entertaining guy.
What?
A little bit on the odd side, but entertaining.
And then let's see what other Elf.
Oh, wow.
Alf. I don't know if you guys remember Elf.
Alf.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember.
There's this one episode he was dealing with like a giant cockroach man eating cockroach thingy, and it got kind of dark in some spots, and you're just like shit.
No, Elf. I don't know if I watched Elf with my family or if it was on one of the spare TV sets, because we used to have all these like TV sets that we had at least a couple that were basically like furniture, like because they were the old tube televisions. Like you weren't going to move that thing around very much,
yes.
Unless you're like a bodybuilder or something,
or you had an entire moving team at your disposal.
Yeah. No, this wasn't like we didn't have any like the wood panel stuff. So I mean, it wasn't as furniture-esque like the stuff my like aunt and uncle had, but it was still so. It was just like a real. We just had like these really solid tube TVs. They didn't have like wood panels or it wasn't that fancy, like a cabinet or something. But like unless I went and I could go in the other room sometimes and watch the TV, but there were also TV shows we'd watch as a family, but that'd be more like Cheers or Family Ties or The Cosby Show, maybe Different World.
The Cosby Show.
Yeah, I mean, but
Different World was one that I remember watching. I don't know if my folks watched that or not, but I liked that. It with Sinbad.
Family Matters.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That came out a bit later. Yeah,
I think there's one called Step by Step.
I did watch that.
Yes, Step by Step, Full House.
Yeah. I don't think so. I remember the pilot episode of Full House was quite promising. I'm not quite sure if I don't know if the rest of the episodes were quite as lived up to that. I thought it kind of got kind of formulaic after a while, but I don't know. I mean, that's I watched quite a few episodes though.
You have to remember, Family Matters was a spinoff of another show called Perfect Strangers.
Wait, Perfect Strangers?
I remember Perfect Strangers.
I didn't
realize those. I didn't realize those two shows were. I didn't realize those two shows were tied.
Wow,
They are.
They were cousins, and Bucky. Yeah. I forgot the name of the other dude. I forgot the name of his character. And then because the character I remember most.
One guy was Belky, and the other guy. Oh, you're talking about the other guy. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name of his character. It was like
he played like the straight guy, right? The Belky was like kind of like the more
what dad
just did kind of goofy things because he was a foreigner. And no one insults any foreigners. I'm just saying. That was just the premise of the show. Was maybe his customs were a little different in his country, and so wasn't it his the cousin that he was living with would kind of react to what he was doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was just him going, because the cousin was just so out there was.
Yeah, it was just it was a big culture shock, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, if you paid attention to Perfect Strangers, you would have seen Harriet Winslow on every other episode.
Oh,
I must have missed those episodes.
Yes, like she was
a police officer, right?
Yeah, Carl Winslow was the father.
He was a police officer.
He was a police officer.
Harriet was the elevator operator. She operated the elevator for the company that the cousin worked for, the American cousin worked for, and Bucky would just interact with her, and then and that led to Family Matters, which led to Urkel.
Yes. Yeah, because weren't the Winslows like the stars of the show at first, and then became the Urkel show? After that?
Then just kind of gravitated.
You're
to
right.
Urkel.
It seemed. I seem to. That seems to make sense. That
is it because originally
don't sip at school, kids.
Originally, Steve Urkel was supposed to be kind of like a one-shot deal. He
right.
showed up, and then that was it for him.
That definitely makes sense. If Carl started at Winslow, if he started out on Family Matters, would it have been just him at that point, or did they show his family a little bit? Or?
No, it was his family. It is the Family Matters centered on Carl Winslow and his family. But Harry,
I'm talking about when he was on. I'm sorry. I meant Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers is centered on Bucky and the American.
Yeah, I'm just saying when Carl was on there, was it just Carl himself, or did he have his family?
No, it was
his
just
family.
It was just.
They wouldn't have had Urkel on there necessarily.
No,
not at first.
No, if Carl showed up, it was either because someone called the police or something like that.
Okay, so that makes sense. So that makes sense that he'd be the star of Family Matters at the beginning, and then all of a sudden there's this what do they call that, runaway success or whatever with takeoff character, or what do they call that? With Urkel.
Yeah, Steve Urkel.
It was just supposed to be kind of that neighbor, kind of like Skippy on Family Ties that kind of annoyed everybody, but
he was basically supposed to be that. From what I remember, he was supposed to be that one shot, like that shows up one time, and then that's the last time you hear that character. But he got popular after that one bit, and they started bringing him back, and then he just got more popular. And
it's kind of like almost like in a strange way. That's kind of like how Kramer would just walk in the door on Seinfeld. And everybody start cheering. and he was just, and I think he was kind of a bit of a. I don't know if he was intended to be a bit of a side character or what.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of like the Fonz.
Yeah.
He's not
extremely popular.
He was not in every episode, but when he showed up,
it wasn't a family member either.
Yeah,
right.
Like
he was that kid in the neighborhood kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's useful to have that kind of.
Yeah, he wasn't in every episode, but when he showed up, it was a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
And unfortunately, that was the thing with Steve Urkel is that he should have been treated kind of like the Fonz. He showed up every once in a while, but eventually they just started making it about him.
Yeah, it became the Steve Urkel show at that point.
Yeah, it became the Steve
Urkel
show.
The thing about Urkel was every time he appeared, he had some new idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were running with.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like he was a kid, like a child prodigy, mad scientist type thing.
Yeah.
You remember?
He had his own personality altering machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Urkel, right?
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden he was cool.
He became Bruce Urkel.
He became Bruce
Lee. Which was very funny.
Stephen Urkel. I think that was the cool personality for him.
Yeah.
That was the only time Laura ever put up with him.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, Melinda. Welcome, Melinda. Melinda's
Hi, Melinda.
Melinda's somebody who's very supportive of the show. Isn't always able to catch the show, but I see Melinda in James Skype's chat a lot. And I also enjoy watching. I recommend everybody check out Melinda's channel. This isn't doxing. She talks about it. She lives down in Louisiana. And she films a lot of. She does kind of a variety of stuff on her channel, but like she's got like anything from like talking about. Say like the disability laws in Louisiana, to like filming just these massively long trains. I love those train videos. I used to live in Louisiana for part of a year.
Gotcha.
When I was like, I wasn't quite a hatchling. I was a little older. I was a kindergartner. There we go. I was in kindergarten then. And I lived in New Iberia, Louisiana. And it's cool to actually watch those videos with these trains because I don't see them around here in Traverse City. We actually northern Michigan, we've started like getting rid of our train tracks and turning them into recreational trails.
Oh.
And so it's really cool watching those videos.
Right.
Sorry if you've been here a while and I didn't say hi to you. And then he saw Slimden. Hope I pronounced your name right.
Did I do that?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Whereas Fonzie had that cool A.
Yeah, that's basically
that was Fonz.
Yeah. I mean, because
Erica was like kind of he was like the anti-Fonzie or something.
Well, I think he also struggled with calling people wrong.
Yeah, I think that's the thing was is that did I do that was the same as hey
Yeah,
they're trying to come up with a catchphrase, which is basically what
you talking about, Willis?
There you go. Which is basically what was every TV.
The way Sev would call everybody a big dummy.
Or do they have So Rude with the Olson twins?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't a very
that wasn't the Olson twins. That was the lady. That was the one that played the middle sister.
Oh, you're right.
Oh yeah. What's her name? I can't think of
Stephanie Tanner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, her.
How Rude was the
How Rude, that's what it was. Yeah, it was back then. There were there were all these different catchphrases on sitcoms and.
Yeah, the only job the Olsen twins really had was to look cute in front of the camera.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was.
You had one job.
Really young when the original.
You got it, dude.
Yes, like I said, all she had to do was look cute in front of the camera.
Is that it?
And say stuff that a typical toddler would say.
Yeah.
Right.
I liked Uncle Jesse. And I also liked
not the hair.
Not the hair. No, I mean
because he was that rock star, and then was it Uncle Joey who was a comedian? I liked.
He also had a fixation with Elvis.
Yeah.
Blossom. Y'all remember Blossom?
Yes, I remember Blossom.
Oh yeah. They had Dr. John doing Dr. John from New Orleans
I think Joey Lawrence. I think Joey was in that one. Whoa.
Joey Lawrence. Yeah.
And
whoa.
I was just watching that old SNL parody where it was one of the girls from what was that? The Roseanne, the younger girl from Roseanne. She was playing Blossom's friend 6. On Saturday Night Live.
Yes, she was the oh crap, the Kim of the show.
Yeah.
You notice that a lot of these shows will have the dumb friend, the smart friend. A lot of them are really formulaic now that you think about it, because a lot of these 80s and 90s shows, that's. They had that one dumb friend. It's like Eddie from
Martin.
Yeah, it's like Eddie from like Eddie the son. Eddie is the son of Carl Winslow, and Eddie had a friend whose thumb was a
Waldo.
Waldo, yeah.
Oh, happy day, happy dinosaur. Good to see you. And if people like what they're seeing, please like and share. It really helps get the word out.
Yeah, and so.
Yes.
And Blossom had a dumb brother, which was Joey.
Yeah, he
was the dumb brother.
He would just be constantly shocked by
and the Banks family had Hillary.
Like what you guys were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Although Hillary wasn't really dumb as much as she was self-absorbed.
Interesting.
That was her quirk.
Who was self-absorbed?
Hillary Banks.
Oh, okay. I see. I thought you were talking about.
Oh, from
Joey.
From Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah, Hillary Banks was a dumb one. Well,
she wasn't dumb. She was her problem was she was self-absorbed.
Well, she was that self-absorbed,
right?
made her pretty dumb too, unfortunately. And then Carlton was just stupid naive. He wasn't dumb, but he was really naive.
Yeah, but he was a character. Yeah, but aside from Will, he was a character who had the most growth.
Yeah, as a character, Carlton. Yeah, Carlton had the most growth.
I like Carlton. Yeah, there was I really like that episode where they tried to get into the fraternity and like they
basically
he wasn't cool enough, and it's like
he was basically they called him a sellout.
Yeah.
But then the one
that was his best.
We're gonna use sellout because we use the other one. We might get banned.
But the guy who was like in charge of the fraternity, he was,
not to mention,
like
he literally called him a sellout.
So
it's accurate.
But one of the guys said, like, you don't speak for all of us, like because when the kid, because it wasn't just like 100% universal.
Oh yeah,
it was like.
From what I remember that episode,
he tried to check him early in the episode.
From what I remember of that episode, I think as that episode was ending, that guy kind of got a Buddha from the guy who was keeping Carlton from joining the club or fraternity was about to getting himself kicked out for.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, because the other guy was
like that guy was gonna get kicked out, or he was in serious trouble because it was. I don't think it was his he wasn't
really his fraternity.
Yeah, he was just acting like it was.
He was acting like it was his fraternity, and
he even called it his fraternity. So he had issues.
He had his head up his ass.
And I like it though that the writer showed that it wasn't like, okay, this entire fraternity wasn't
just one
like
asshole.
anti-intellectual or just you had to be cool or whatever. It was just it seemed like it was just mainly that one guy who was
because basically what he was trying to do is he was trying to shame Carlton for having a better life, for having money, for having a better education, for this and that. He didn't grow up in the hood, and all this other silly requisitions that don't make a person,
Which is kind of funny because in the one flashback we see him in an apartment, and we see a younger version of Carlton in an apartment in the hood before Phil became a big time lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It also
wasn't the deal that they thought with the people that Carlton listened to Barry Manilow.
It makes sense they wouldn't have heard it.
Yeah, it's just the thing is that this dude made that bold assumption that Carlton grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth in his entire life, and that wasn't the case. But he made that assumption. So that's the other shoe that drops, is that this dude was making assumptions of Carlton before without getting to know Carlton.
Yeah, the guy had a big ego.
Yeah, and
Carlton kind of did it as well, but I think like as time went on, he became more mature, right?
Yeah,
yes, like I said, he had the most growth outside of Will.
Yeah, basically, yeah. When
I think it was actually one of the better, probably one of the best. Sitcoms of was it the late '80s, early '90s, or something?
Yeah, early '90s.
I was really well written.
It's one of the better well written shows, and most people and so it boggles my mind when people say, "Oh, we didn't have this kind of representation way back when." It's like, no, what are you talking about? We had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters. We you look at the movies. You had Eddie Murphy movies. You had this. You had that. You have Jean-Claude Van Damme is from the Brussels, man.
Well, I think the '90s really did. There was making strides as far as.
Yeah, we went backwards when we made it to the 2000s. We went backwards. We're still going. We're going backwards, and I don't understand how people. You're going backwards.
Well,
you can have.
I mean, like Uncle Phil, he like.
Yeah, that was one.
What was it? Will was actually talking about how he was talking this and that about Malcolm X, and then Uncle Phil said, I saw Malcolm X
heard the brother speak.
Mm-hmm. And
I thought that was pretty. I mean, I thought that was awesome that because I was rewatching that. I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago. I was rewatching some episodes. I don't know where to watch those episodes online, but
I think it was, like I said, I think it was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the current one, not the fucking reboot. That's so disrespectful to the original. It just makes it even worse. Is that Will is a executive producer on that damn shit. It's like, dude, you're executive producer on this shit, and you're basically stomping on the legacy that you that everybody in the original show put their blood, sweat, and tear into that show. The only thing that was ever a problem with the original show is that when they changed Aunt Vivian.
Yeah, I did not like that.
They changed it
I don't know. I think it might have been the original actress didn't get along very well with Will.
Anybody. With anybody, I think. Go ahead.
From what I understood, it was her and Will had conflict.
Mm-hmm.
I think Will was just like learning how to act. I mean, he had acted in like music videos and stuff, but that's a
Never
lot
had a
different.
full blown show, and because
Fantic, good to see you.
Because he was getting
Thanks for
most
joining
of
us.
he was getting most of his acting advice from the guy who played Uncle Phil. You know.
Well, if you want to get advice from somebody, get it from professionals.
Yeah. Yeah, because which is funny because the guy that played Uncle Phil also did the voice of the cartoon
Shredder.
original Shredder for the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cartoon.
Yeah. I love the way.
I love this dude even more now. It's like he was the original Shredder too.
Yeah, I love the way he would roast Krang and Bebop and Rocksteady. You cretin, you screwed everything up.
Yeah, it's just the way he delivered his lines. It's like, dude, I did not know he was the Shredder. This makes him even better.
It's those blasted turtles again.
You know,
did that actor pass away? Is he?
He passed away.
Yeah, he passed away.
That's sad.
Very sad.
Well, I mean, he was what, like 60 something when Fresh Prince of Bel-Air first appeared.
Yeah, he was pretty up in years.
Yeah, I know he was pretty up there. I know he's like 60 something. So
Oh wow.
Yeah. I know he was a much older actor. So, and then
still, that's a huge loss.
Yeah. He was still a great actor. I mean,
also
a great Shredder too. You know. Yes. He's a great Shredder too. You just you know, and because like, let's see what other shows were good. Like then we got the animated Spider-Man shows, the X-Men and stuff like that, and
Batman.
There were a lot of really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh, by the way, folks, feel free to promote your projects on the panel. And of course, in the chat, you got wrenches. Everybody should have a wrench. Well, I mean, there are a couple people I won't get wrenches to. But none of them have shown up tonight.
Probably because
there's some people who
use
that sort of power, and that's all I'll say.
Well, I mean,
but nobody here today.
I mean, because I was talking to TJ the other day, and I was trying to look for somebody I could play Civilization with, because I wanted to see where I am. You can only beat on the computer so much. Until you realize you need to try it against somebody else to see where the hell you're at, and then because right now I am playing Ramses II on Warlord, which is normal for most people, and right now I am the current save game. I am currently stomping the fuck out of everybody on the map. Right now my score is like 1,010 or something like that, and I'm only into my 300 turn or 300th turn, or almost to the 300th turn. So right now I'm probably gonna make it with a science victory again. Like that's how I beat this game. Only science victory. I don't think I've ever. I think I've only won that game once. Was a domination. We just went, fuck everybody. I'm gonna kill you all. You know.
I just noticed Oz Art Studio was in the chat. I'm really sorry that I didn't give you a wrench earlier. If you're still around, or say hi to you. I didn't. For some reason, I don't always see the messages in StreamYard. It's really weird. It's like either they go missing, or I might see it 10 minutes later, or maybe the chat moves and. It's kind of odd. Hey, just Carol. Great to see you, Carol.
Yeah, hello.
Another really nice person who.
Yeah. No, I mean
a lot of really great people in this chat.
I don't know. There were a lot of stuff in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah, I think things were getting really. I think things were going in really really cool direction with TV and
the 80s into the 90s
in the 90s.
And then when we got to the 2000s is when everything went to shit. Started going to shit. Like,
yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened.
Well, we still had the 2003 Turtles. We still had Avatar.
Yeah, Nickelodeon. Yeah, the Nickelodeon's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had the.
I think I do know what part of the problem was. Media media consolidation, and it seems like that's. I mean, once there's just
we also had the Proud Family.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like it also seems like maybe with movies and stuff, like maybe because they were going for an international market, maybe it helps if a movie doesn't have a plot, just has a bunch of explosions or whatever, and then. I mean, there's always been action movies and stuff, but the thing is, I think it might be kind of easier to it's easier to translate or something if you don't.
Well, I think the biggest problem, like the Marvel movies, I think right now, well, not just Marvel movies, but superhero movies in general are having are going to experience quite a bit of a crash. Mainly, it's kind of like what happened. Like I said, what happened was the Western. Is that there's so many Western movies that eventually people just got tired of it and they wanted something new. I mean, because like you, as stupid of an idea as it was for John Wayne wanted to do Genghis Khan. He wanted to do something different. Yeah, he did a Genghis Khan movie.
Oh God!
He was Genghis Khan.
I see we learned nothing from the Kung Fu series starring David Carradine.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, and then at some point there were nothing but martial arts movies coming to our movies, and then that got to a saturation point, and people were like, "What's new?" You know. Then science fiction movies were a thing, and then the horror movies. Yeah, and then horror movies were the biggest thing, and then they went down. It's like this is the reason why Friday the 13th is not being made every freaking year no more.
Well, he kept coming back for sequels.
Yeah, when he kept coming back.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
How many times we had to put this guy down before he stops coming back?
Yeah, and it seems like the same thing. Yes, and that's what I was saying earlier. It's like it seemed like they got so carried away with those slasher movies, and it's doing the same thing with
the sequel. Yeah, because they were like on the 10th sequel by the time they decided to stop.
And some of the slasher movies were trash to begin with. Looking at you, Child's Play.
And then because I think they did. I know they redid Hellraiser. I'm not sure if that got a good reception or not. Because they did Friday the 13th, and then there's Halloween. Halloween was actually Michael Myers was originally there was, from what I understood, Halloween 1 was supposed to be like a one-off. So you got a Halloween movie was Michael Myers for that first movie, and then every other movie after that was supposed to be something different. It was supposed to be an anthology, but they like Michael Myers enough, they had to make a 2, and then when they made a 3, they did something different, and nobody liked it, and then four became 3, and 3 just became season of witches and got thrown to the side.
Yeah.
And so it was just Michael Myers for the rest of that, and then I think they stopped at was it H2O for a while, and then they came back with the Rob Zombie movies, which were absolutely the worst fucking shit I've ever.
Well, they are right. Well, Rob Zombie movies. You said it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Zombie movie. You hit it around the nail.
And then now they're trying to. They made new movies, and then apparently the last one was what the fuck were y'all thinking?
Somebody wasn't.
I haven't watched either this new, I guess, trilogy sequel thing Bob they did. Mainly because I really had no interest in it because I knew they were just gonna fuck it up, and at some point they were going to, and they did. I was like, well, I knew that was coming, so yeah, and then yeah, but just if you really stop to think about it, a lot of stuff happened and then it went away. Stuff happened and it went away.
Stuff happened and it went away.
Yeah. He's like, okay, guys, you beaten this into death. Why are you still trying?
That horse was dead 5 years ago. Stop beating it.
Yeah, you just need to make new because like the Scream, like they're bringing like Scream, they keep trying to bring it back, they're hoping people will come back for it. And then
oh, by the way, sorry to interrupt, but check out Fanta's channel. He does a really good job.
Cool.
He's got a cool channel. I believe she was in. I think she visited the British. Pretty positive she visited the British Isles, and maybe she filmed there a bit, like in the UK. I can't remember. Pretty sure she filmed some of the.
Yeah. No. Because I think the only new original horror movie I've seen, or not seen, heard of, is that Megan.
Oh yeah, that looks. I've heard some good things about it.
Yeah, apparently it's good. I just haven't seen it.
Is she like a artificial intelligence? Like
basically think Chucky, but a lot bigger. Well, actually, you know what? Take Small Wonders and turn it into a horror movie. That's basically what it is. What it is. And the inventor's a female woman.
Women are competent, don't you know that?
Oh no, I'm dying. I was like, I just realized where they got their idea for this movie from. They took it from fucking Small Wonders and they turned it into a horror movie.
It's possible. Kind of sounds.
It's pretty possible. I mean, I'm not saying that's it. I'm just like, you know what? That's really what it sounds like.
Right.
It's like it's the possibility, but I'm not gonna sit there and say that's where they got this from. But it's a different possibility.
Yes.
I just wish they would make more more original movies and what have you. And for now, fucking God, would you please stop using the robots as an analogy for the end of the world or for slavery and stuff like that, and
I guess that's been done a lot of times.
I mean, because like
for decades.
Yeah, because it started with the Terminator.
Well, you could be like Armistice III and use it as an allegory for the foreigners taking over the country.
Mm.
They took their jobs!
I was going to say that, yeah. That alien, were the aliens or just people from the future who in South Park?
I think they were people from the future.
Yeah, back in
I have no idea.
Yeah, I like how South Park just all of a sudden will take some issue and then present it from a really oddball angle that's pretty absurd.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm running out of steam. I'm trying to think. Because right now I'm just so concentrated on doing my stuff. I'm kind of halfway into this, and then.
So this is a text screen, by the way.
The empty
it's
screen.
A blank slate.
The blank slate, because I'm trying to think of a good freaking cover for this character.
I was gonna say, draw something, but we put it back on my screen.
Well, I mean, Because like I said, I got most of these pages. I love some of these brushes because it allowed me to paint all these bricks without actually painting all these bricks.
Looks like somebody might be in the back. Wait, well, looks like we got Geass.
Hey, Geass.
Hello.
Hi.
And he's got a game on the screen. So now we got
put the game on the screen.
For like the last bit of the show, yay!
Well, I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
All right, later, dude.
Well, thanks for showing up and
thanks for coming by, man.
And joining into the conversation.
Because I think it was
always a pleasure. Do you have a link that you want to share? Or?
Just a minute. I gotta remember. I gotta do the share the link thing. This thing. God damn it. This it? Yeah.
I think if I type in Head Ninja, I get the Boondocks. Isn't that where the phrase Head Ninja came from?
Black Dynamite parodied it, but in reality, it was a bit from Lean On Me. But in reality, it was a bit from. But they got it from Lean On Me.
Okay.
The movie.
Yes, there's a scene in there when Mr. Clark is introduced, and he says he says he's the HNIC, and the one or two white guys in there ask what that means, and they tell him. So what I did was, what Black Dynamite did was, instead of using that word, they replaced it with ninja.
Nah.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch Black Dynamite.
So okay, I see it. I got it now. All right.
Interesting. So I gotta watch that.
So basically, he was using the Dynamite used a different word, but in the movie itself, it's just a different analogy altogether. Okay. All right. I got it.
Yeah. So Black Dynamite's a blaxploitation film. But
it was a parody of a blaxploitation film.
Yeah, but it's from 2009.
It's a parody of a parody of a parody.
Mike.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
You guys watch The Hebrew Hammer?
The what now?
The what?
That was a Jewish exploitation film.
Okay.
The main character is
okay. Those are all my.
The guy drinks Manischewitz. That's his cheap wine of choice. Anyway, check out the Head Ninja in charge. Not in charge. Oh, gosh. Head Ninja channel. And here's a
put in Pinterest female action poses and get a shot of ass. How in the...
I don't know, but I'm going to move from your blank screen to what Geass is.
Oh, go for it. I'm trying to find one.
So I think.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. I don't know what's up with me today. I'm just been a freaking art block at the moment. It's like, God damn it! It's just one of those days where my brain just doesn't want to work. And it's like, and then,
I think it's kind of an maybe a little bit of an odd day
for me. Yeah.
Well, for just
Forever.
in general.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've been enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, the conversation's been great. I mean,
yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people showed up in chat all at once, and it was kind of hard to. It's kind of hard for me. I try to get a balance. I want you guys in the panel to. I like having active panel, but I also like having active chat. I think if this channel like grew really big, might have to use like slow mode or whatever. I wouldn't ever want to get like, and I don't think this is going to happen, but I wouldn't want to get to the point where, like, there's a big channel and like there's super chats involved and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that would be something for later.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, I never had any plans to monetizing the channel. It seems like it would come with a bunch of.
Yeah, it would become a big hassle for you, I think.
Yeah. I don't really.
This is just something more for you to have fun with, not to.
And that's not, and I totally, there's a lot of YouTubers I have just massive respect for who do make money, and they deserve it. And I'm not saying anybody on here wouldn't deserve it. It's just there just seems like there'd be such a hassle that would come with it.
Yeah, because I mean the thing is what I'm trying to do for this cover is trying to have a balance between action and fun, and I'm kind of
You're seeing this cover, but you've got like a blank page.
Yeah, I mean, well, I was just drawing something right now, and then I kind of deleted it again. I'm just like, and so I'm just trying to think of something that would be great and awesome.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just I've got like some video game footage of Geass is playing his game, so that's
no.
Yeah,
I mean, now that I remember our original conversation.
Right here, they fit in perfectly with the show. But I like, I like that. I like that kind of like. I like that variety of stuff. Anyway, it's not just comics or not just games. It's supposed to be a variety.
Right.
I actually even came across. Let's see. I took a screenshot of it. I came across like the original message, what my show, like my original plans about what the show was going to be, about when I first started streaming. I don't know, it was a couple of years ago or so. I mean, maybe 3 years now. I've taken lots of breaks, but and the show actually turned out to be quite different than my initial description.
Right.
Though I might have had more than one plan, because I do seem to remember, like when I used to go on Manny from Good Dog Process channel or Rick Piper's channel, and I don't know if I want to take ferrets until later on or what, but
were we on Take Ferrets?
I have been before, but I don't know if I was initially, like before launching the show, but because he was on, it used to be, it seemed, I think he used to be on Manny's more often than was on his own channel.
Right.
But I do remember him explaining my show, I think before it even started. I think he did say it was going to be about comics and movies and pretty much what it ended up being about.
Right.
Oh, here's one of the things that I found it. I'm hosting my first live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. I can't remember. Oh, this is April 25th, 2019. I'm hosting my first live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern. Well, there will be a focus on comic books other possible topics include music, movies, comedy, gaming. Okay, that all sounds familiar. Sculpting, model building, toy trains, wrestling.
Yeah, we haven't got any of the
We
other
have
stuff.
talked about wrestling, but here and
Well,
there.
it's just that we don't have too many people in here who are wrestling fans.
And you get this mini drones.
Mini drones.
That was when that's when drones became.
Oh, that's when drones. Yeah, when drones were becoming a thing.
Yeah, that part never.
That never surfaced because it's just kind of.
It's a fun thing if anybody's. And that's part of why I give people wrenches if they do have a channel where they're flying around their drones like in a non-military type fashion. Feel free to share that. Like those are cool. I just I just don't know the rules with drones, and I'm always afraid it's going to crash into something. Because my late brother ended up buying a drone, never ended up using it, but it's like a model airplane basically. But I don't know what the rules are, like as far as flying that. If you need a license nowadays or not, because
you probably don't in some areas, but some places you probably do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure it out for Michigan and federal law before testing that thing out.
Okay.
Yeah, so Geass, well, what's going on in your game? It looks pretty lively.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop the werewolves and skeletons from invading.
You know, that's a big problem. Whenever you have humans, like skeletons and werewolves are bound to.
Well, I mean, it's not just us. It's a fantasy world. You probably
we don't allow that sort of degeneracy in the land of lost. Like vampires but you're saying that can happen to other beings?
Yeah. It just depends, because you can do it to half elves, and.
Yeah. I forgot. You know, it's been a while, maybe 2 or 3 years since I played Skyrim, but I had a cat. Was it a cat type character? What are they called? Catons or the race of cat people, and
yeah.
And but she ended up joining the companions. Okay, that's a spoiler alert if you haven't played Skyrim. Became a werewolf. I mean, so she can transform into a werewolf, which I think means she can't transform into a vampire. I think that might be the trade-off, but
because you can also become a vampire at the same time.
If I knew that I was going to I could transform her into a werewolf, I probably wouldn't necessarily have gone with a cat character. I would, because I did that for the claws, but that turned out not to work out too well. I would have probably gone for I can't remember the race that's really really good mages.
We're 4 to 3 hours. We're 4 minutes into 3 hours. We have 4 minutes left of the 3 hour show.
Okay, thanks for being the Tron crier.
Yeah, sorry.
That's actually part of. I am thanking you. I'm not just being sarcastic. It's
no worries.
We have a kind of a town crier type, because somebody's got to be the timekeeper. I had attended I had actually put out a to help publish a broadsheet newspaper, and I was mainly just trying to get things organized, so that because it was just some friends and some people I'm really not kind of friends with anymore, but or didn't. Some of the people I didn't really know all that well, I guess. But yeah, like most of the people, if not all. But
yeah.
We put out a broadsheet newspaper, but like our meetings were just so hectic because, and then I was like, well, we really we should really have a timekeeper, and we should have somebody to take the minutes, and we should kind of do things a little more formally.
Right.
Like we had a newspaper. This was a nonprofit newspaper, and people used to go out like I think it was like 5 different counties. But like somebody would show up with the newspapers, they would drive all the way out to a different county, like a half hour away, and there were already newspapers dropped off.
Yeah.
So what I did was I just came up with an idea of like, okay, let's like kind of streamline the distribution. Let's have a sheet of paper, have a clipboard or whatever, the sheet of paper. And then write down who's taking things where. Yeah. And I think that was the only idea that anybody actually listened to me about. But like it greatly streamlined things. It did help that I was involved with the distribution of the papers. That was mainly my thing. I didn't write a ton of articles.
Right. No, I mean, it helps,
Like I also, I did kind of a Wayne's World thing where I worked for the public access station. I did kind of a WKRP in Cincinnati kind of thing, except for it was a college station, and we didn't really have a big focus on. You couldn't one of the rules was no silly talk, so.
Oh, that's kind of a fail here.
Too entertaining down there, but things could get pretty fun during some of the fundraisers.
Mm-hmm.
Where people would, because there we did have a little more banter going on. Whereas like the rest of the year, we would focus more on the music. We weren't trying to compete with commercial stations. Commercial stations were real into the big radio personalities, but like as time went on, you'd hear probably less and less songs. Like it used to be like the commercial rock station would play, they might play an entire album, and they might play an album before it even was officially released in the stores.
Yeah.
Like the guy was like, turn on your feel free. So this Van Halen album hasn't been released in the stores yet. So feel free to get your cassette tape out and tape. And I think I'm not going to give away legal advice, but I think that might be allowed, like the way that people could use VCRs. It might be allowed. I'm not saying that, and I don't know the current law, but it might have been legal at the time because the radio stations, even non, that was a commercial station, but even the non-commercial stations would pay royalties to ASCAP and BMI, and maybe there might have been some other royalty companies, so that the musicians would get their royalties when we play their music.
Right.
So that might have been okay for people. It might have been, but don't quote me on that.
Don't quote you on that.
Yeah, I don't know how many people really listen to just regular radio anymore. I know there's cable radio, or a lot of people. I mainly just go on YouTube or.
I don't know.
I know they got Spotify. I don't have a Spotify account.
I don't think I really pay attention to stuff like that. I have Pandora, but I don't use it for anything else other than music. And so I just have it playing there in the background. And then Wow, the Patreon's picking up tonight.
Also, Tank wasn't streaming Tank Fairy wasn't streaming regularly when I started. So yeah, it seemed like he would show up on Manny's channel, but I don't remember watching his live streams. Oh, hey Beth, welcome.
Well, I mean, because I was also doing streaming too.
Oh, and thanks for the thumbs up. Beth, I'm going to give you a wrench. I'm going to give you a jacket.
And most of my streaming was on Picardo.
Oh yeah,
I've had a few people asking me like, "Hey, when are you gonna stream again?" And I was like, "I don't know." It's like,
I guess Beth already does have a wrench. Cool. Yeah, there's somebody who was here earlier who, unfortunately, I don't think ever ended up getting a wrench, but should have.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, so
apparently
there's a couple of terms, like, of course, there's wrench. I'm surprised. I've never heard anyone use the word spanner, but I have heard the word jacket, which is like it's a term that's more used like in the Philippines, but it's the word. But in English, it's just jacket, and it means moderator. LS, a lot of people like in a lot of times in say American English, there's people posting their L's or whatever, But LS,
I noticed a weird trend of just people just offloading their criminal activity on the internet. And
all that like that one TJ guy, that's the TJ from your channel.
It's just I'm just noticing kind of like this epidemic of people just I'm gonna tell everybody the crime I just committed.
No.
Huh?
That would be posting one's L's. That would be posting one's L's, I think. But there's also.
I wonder if Mighty knows that he's still on there.
But there's also LS as in live stream, and that's why we include that in the title of the show is. Because that's a term used in the Philippines for
What do you guys think of the post?
We stream at like 9 a.m. Philippines time, so it's kind of I don't know if that's the best time for people. I don't know if a lot of people can tune in at that time, but I appreciate anybody who tunes into who watches our channel.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah,
thank you, everybody. And I like the pose. I like it when there's action. When one of my pet peeves about
I know.
Like with covers, like a lot of covers, these days, it might be just some people there like taking a selfie or something. I've actually seen covers like that. Some dude eating a pizza or whatever, Whereas, like, it seemed like during the 1980s, and before then, there were a lot of action covers in the 70s and 80s, and maybe going back to the 50s.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to find something fun and.
Is this the cover?
Yeah, this is like a cover page. So
yeah, it's dynamic, I think would be the term. It's motion.
Yeah, because this was the other one where she's like saluting, but I was like, okay, that may be a little too on the nose. And then
what is she saluting?
People, because she's holding the American flag. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that would probably piss off.
Oh, okay, that's
like
good.
40 people or 200 people or whatever. chances are I'm gonna piss off more people than I make happy for putting this on there. So it's like, okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, I like yeah, as I said, I like that when there's some action.
No, so I guess I was just gonna go with her old costume before I put her in the new costume she's has for during some parts of the story.
So Terry, were you chiming in or reacting to like the TV or something?
Terry, I don't think you realize he didn't shove off. I think he's still. But if you're ready to conk out, dude.
Yeah, I think we had a successful show. Let's see, we probably if people in the chat feel free to promote your channels, and people on the panel. I'll start with you, Tech.
All right, you can find me at the Tech Corner on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon. But be aware, Patreon is not safe for work stuff. I do also have another one at Tier Comics, which is where I'm going to start be posting stuff for my comic, Miss Wonders, which is I'm thinking next week to get it start going. So it's going to be 1 page a week, or make the attempt to make it 1 page a week. So look for either weekly or bi-weekly. You'll get goodies if you are in the $5 tier. The $3 tier is the 3 and the 5 will still get the comic. As kind of like a bonus, I'm gonna put the old comic I worked on for my Indiegogo thing that I let it go.
So, yeah, you. This is when you went on John Meelan's show and all that.
Yeah, John Meelan. This is why I try not to when someone tells me not to draw something or to work on a comic something. I'm just gonna start doing my research and look elsewhere. That's And
I don't want any I don't want to cause any problems with any of its fans or what are they like the.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna. I'm not
like he's actually got he's got a name for his fans. I guess my fans were the Sleestakians.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bring up John's
yeah.
In any way. I
mean, so the thing is, you're going to release what you got, what you have.
What I have for that, and it's gonna sit as a bonus for everybody that comes in. For everybody that comes in, it doesn't matter what point you come in. It'll still be there, so it'll be one of those books that.
Yeah, because I think I've seen maybe a little bit of it, like off air.
Yeah.
But not,
just be aware that it was made a couple years ago, so it's not in the level where I am now.
But you're not going to George Lucas it and just
no. I would if I know I was going to have all that money coming to me, but I'm not gonna redux that entire thing, especially when I have Miss Wonders to deal with first, because I need to get Miss Wonders off the ground first before I do anything else.
And what did you see Miss Wonders was about?
It is a heroine from 1940s.
Is this the character or?
That's the sketchy form of the character. Hang on 1 second.
I like her.
That's her.
I like just by default you end up with like that airplane. Where does that airplane fit in? Is that part of the story?
It's just what brings her into the airspace that she needs to be for her last mission. So it's just so we're starting at her last mission.
Okay, well.
So we're starting at her last. So we're starting her last.
Spoiler or not?
No. It started at her last mission in the during World War II, and then it picks up in the present, and then it's just her.
Oh, okay. So that's the beginning of the.
Yeah, that's the beginning of the book. So then it's just her dealing with an alternate present, as there are things as androids and one that have you, technology is different, and so on and so forth. And then so it's also dealing with the fact that all her is no longer 1940s, and all her friends are gone and stuff like that. So it's just dealing with kind of a Captain America issue without actually being Captain America. So so I'm using her as the kickoff for the entire universe that I want to make.
So Terry, are you around?
Terry.
Yeah.
There he is.
Okay.
We're casting off for tonight.
Daniel,
do you have anything you want to say?
Not at the moment. I take that back. Well, if you can catch me on the Saturday afternoon draw along. This week we'll be on Cross Comics YouTube channel.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad to see you. It seems like you're streaming more often, or maybe you were streaming on Chris's channel, but
yeah,
I see you're hosting some of your own streams.
Yeah,
again, which I think is cool.
Yeah,
and you feel free to drop the link to your channel.
We'll have to do that.
or it could, or actually, I have it right here if you want me to drop it.
Thanks, man.
Oh, no problem. My pleasure. Yeah, thanks for coming on the stream. It's streaming with you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got like some of the founding Sleestakians on here tonight.
Yep.
Now, Geass ended up joining us later on.
Way later.
But but we had Shinobi on earlier too. Let's see. So
some of us tend to trickle in after a while.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, we don't want to take over your show.
Yeah, I'm surprised a lot of the other ones haven't shown up.
Well, they do that because they don't want to take over the show.
Yeah, I mean, because if you have Rumble Terrier come on here, come on, man.
Oh
yeah.
Wow.
It'll turn into the Rumble Terrier show.
I would actually Rumble Terrier. Yeah.
Normally, when he comes on, within about 2 seconds after you let him in, it's his show.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I think I last saw, was it maybe Risey's channel? I'm trying to think of what
last. If you let Risey on here, it's going to turn into the Risey show.
For real.
Yeah, he's still around. But I think he was gone for a while, or
he's been back on certain channels. I know.
He's like, wait for it, he'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, so I'm going to find Cross Comics channel and highlight, put that in, because I think Cross might, I think Rick might have disappeared by now.
Okay, Geass, while Lorenzo's doing his thing, do you have anything you want to shout out?
Oh yeah, we probably should go to Rick unless. But Terry, do you have anything to add?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna highlight. Here's Rick, Cross Comics. When did you say you're going to be on there?
It's Saturday.
That should be fun. I hope I can.
Yeah, it takes place Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
And Master Geass.
Hi. I haven't been posting anything in a year, so.
Oh yeah, really. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes, sorry. Because I was just remembering my DA is like four accounts away from 500, and I was
Yeah, are you like Master Geass at DeviantArt, or how does
Yes.
it or dot DeviantArt, or what is that?
No way! I am one watcher away from 500. Yeah. Sorry.
From 100 what?
I am one watcher away from 500 on DeviantArt, but this is the not safe for work DeviantArt.
Oh, okay.
So I'm kind of happy about it.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know much about DeviantArt, so
I'm
a little confused about what you're talking about.
It's an art website where you can show off stuff.
Yeah, like, is this like your 500th visitor or your
watcher? It's kind of how you get subs for YouTube or followers on Twitter. That's basically what it is.
Wow. Okay, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no monetization thing, but it's still pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
that just means more people watching.
Yeah, as I said earlier, like, no, I think it's cool when people get monetized with things, but it's that's not really what impresses me one way or the other about what somebody's doing. But it's the quality of their content, and it sounds like you've got some quality content over there, though it may not be quite safe for everybody to check out. It sounds like it's an 18 and up thing.
Yeah, it's definitely an 18 up.
So,
well, not that squeamish, but
anything else, Geass?
Just want the screen for a moment. I want to show a pair of goblins.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
See these goblins here?
Mm-hmm.
This one's got something that looks like a fork.
Possibly would be like a sport.
Ah, crap! I wasn't paying attention, and some guys got past me. I have only 1 HP in this mode.
Damn. You're on impossible mode then.
I actually been doing well until just now.
Oh, you're good, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. So it turns out defeat aren't just things on your legs, attached to your legs. Yeah, kind of ruined my delivery with that dad joke.
Yeah, yes, you did. All right, guys. I think it's probably a good time to call it a night.
Yeah, I was going to. Let's see. I was going to
advertise
give a little info about where people could find me.
Go ahead.
Dan, do you want to are you gonna?
No, go ahead.
Post a link to anything for your Twitter or anything?
No, not yet. I don't think I have to right now, because I'm probably gonna be changing things here in a bit, and so I'm probably be updating links. Yeah, so I'll have them ready for next time.
I don't even know if I typically do this, but I'm gonna go to my Twitter account and I'll drop a link to that for people who are interested. Post a lot of kind of a mixed variety of things, from comic books, which I'm not really comic book art, which I'm not an expert. I don't know diddly squat about comic books. I just love the artwork. I'm pretty dyslexic, so it's hard for me to read. Yeah, there's sometimes it can be hard for me to even read a comic book.
So there's the channel.
I can read some college textbooks and stuff that are real dry academic stuff, but I try to read a comic book or a novel or something, and that's a lot harder.
All right.
But I'll put the link to my show in the chat. But anyway, I'm your host Lorenzo Sleestakians. You can find me here every Thursday night, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, and let's see, 9 a.m. Oh, what? 1 a.m. UK, 9 a.m. Philippines. It's 9 a.m. Friday. So, but in I think most of the U.S. we broadcast Thursday night. In some parts of the world, it's actually Friday morning.
All
but
right.
you know, I guess I didn't drop the link, but yeah, you can find me here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. YouTube's really the only one I promote much. And you can also find me on Twitter. I accidentally put the mobile link, but you could I'll probably load on the desktop. I'll replace it with the www. But anyway, thanks for joining us, and please tune in next week. And don't be squeamish dropping links to your YouTube channels, projects, even friends. Stuff that they're working on, or their YouTube channels, or Twitch accounts, or whatever. Just as long as it's not like X-rated or whatever.
Yep. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Right.